fight the power like Big Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
The Bakushi is the master of illusion. And if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality. Bakushi thinks he's won the game, but he didn't count on a pinch hitter.
All is continuous vibration, always in motion. Conductor of energy, assault in the ocean. Serpent is the sine wave, polarities interwoven. A chemical sorcery, elixirs and potions. Resonant frequencies, molecular explosions. Your daily programs is heavy doses of hypnosis. People walk around blind even though their eyes are open. No time for ideological salesmen with biblical notions. That box in your room, televised lies through your vision. It doesn't matter your race, status, or religion. No longer have to beat you when your mind is locked in prison. That food is filled with toxins, it's why you can't think clear. Illusion of choice is your option while keeping all in fear. Load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here. I said load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space. So get the fuck out my face.
In the instant, I changed the mission with photosynthesis. Witness the synthesis, ripping endless on instruments. Feel the frequency, energy off this Hennessy synergy. Literally those that take us to infinity. Reading articles, all is horrible. Calling audibles, I'm remarkable. I shot a fed at a carnival. Dust and particles, follicles gon' be everywhere. Heavy pair of some pistols, I shot him holding that teddy bear. Fuck the system, let's keep it simple, let's raise the temple. Make them triple while you're going to where they all assemble. Not Avengers, I'm the Avenger, I seek the engine. Kept my temper till I stuck the hidden blade up in them. Fuck the ruler, here's what they doing to you. Poison water in the food is what you put into you. I'm the shooter with new maneuvers. Caught back the Ruger, super trooper. He is gonna need a pooper scooper. The revenge of Montezuma. Rocking my Pumas, uppercut like a Kuma, sending you straight to Luna. Cosmic verses from universes on new excursions. Emerging the virgin, I pull it back the iron curtain. War leaders are war eaters, born cheaters. War sneakers, rearrange their core features. Born reaper, hurricane, the sword keeper. Form ether, burn all of the mold geezers. Up in government, parliament, bitch, I'm tarnishing ornaments. Ain't no bargaining, throw a bomb in the audience. I'm the guardian, strange you all in the cardigan. Rearrange the universe, I am the artisan.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space. So get the fuck out my face.
As a king, fighting the spirit of Mesa King, vibing to my queen, playing the tambourine, while I'm eating the tangerine. My plasma was replaced with gasoline, got the blood of the Elohim, manifesting through a dream, a shit you never seen. I got the eyes of Medusa, and the hands of Wolverine, astral project with my inner being. We locked in the inner ring, hoping the Anunnaki intervene. While the world is under siege, they got an abyss under the sea, living underneath. Lightning struck me standing under a tree while I was crumbling weed, and an angel swooped down, put me under her wing. Now she shields me from my desires the devil brings. Say my name in vain and you will never bleed. Say my name in vain and you will never bleed.
The Bakushi is the master of illusion. And if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality.
Rogue One Production.
Born from the fire, now I gotta scorch ya. Broke the shackles off my mind, it was torture. Came for poverty, my mother was on that crack shit. Father wasn't there, and I understand why he left this. Tried to stay in school, but I couldn't. Dropped out 10th grade, yeah, got with a woman. Played me like a violin, and now I'm in. Knee deep in some hoes, smoking and sipping gin. Now I'm rapping and trapping, getting this money up. Then the chocolate jig gon' be the tear it up. Now the drama, my baby mama, she brought me drama. Take the good with the bad, thank God for my daughter. Hurricane be the name, I'm on some rebel shit. With this rhetoric, you will witness the embellishment. So they settle this bustin' shots with this metal kit. Fuck the government, y'all niggas ain't ready, bitch. Life full of struggles, yeah, made it out. Shit, determination, there's never been a doubt. Have to learn to hustle, see the big amounts. Gotta get this money, man, you know what we about. Life full of struggles, yeah, we made it out. Shit, determination, there's never been a doubt. Have to learn to hustle, see the big amounts. Gotta get this money, man, you know what we about.
Yeah. You know what we about, Mr. Fuck the government, the president, we loading rounds. Real niggas never need a license to crash out. All these guns in this bitch, a black market in his house. Immortal like being, but I will black out. Illuminati's most wanted on that list right now. I'll squeeze the blick till it click right now. You standing on the wrong side of genocide right now. Yeah. Loyal to the truth, I die about it. If I die today, my mama wouldn't cry about it. My bitch kicked me out of house, I won't lie about it. I be praying, but I guess God forgot about me. I be thinking about selling my soul, I ain't proud about it. Realest nigga in the room, you ain't bout it. Blow down a billionaire on the block, watch him count around him. I see death around the corner, ain't no way around it.
Life full of struggles, yeah, we made it out. Shit, determination, there's never been a doubt. Had to learn to hustle, see the big amounts. Gotta get this money, man, you know what we about. Life full of struggles, yeah, we made it out. Shit, determination, there's never been a doubt. Had to learn to hustle, see the big amounts. Gotta get this money, man, you know what we about. Rise of the legends, legendary classics. Storytelling bars going straight to the masses. Flow is the baddest, nigga cannot surpass this. I've been rapping since '02, so understand this. With my synthesis, I'm the infamous, intricate, ripping. Everybody know I'm the illest bitch. Call it up low key, we on the scene quick. Got the AR-15 with the beam, bitch. Beat this, the government and they cheap tricks. Big boys to chew them up like some beef sticks. See this, I throw kicks in my street kicks. Handing out these bays, telling to keep this. Be sick, I call it to do with street nicks. From two cold brothers from the street, bitch. Better watch your tone, don't see the heat quick. Make the hair disappear, now that's a neat trick.
Phenom Rogue One Production.
What's up, Dom? The full meaning of an oath? I have no clue. Been really pressing this underground city stuff, and I didn't know the Underground Railroad. I think it was just that, a fucking Underground Railroad. That shit went right through Connecticut.
Excuse me. Damn, it doesn't show it. But this picture, I noticed when I zoomed into it at the bottom. Let me take this off. Maybe you guys could zoom in. There's a fucking guy, a Triple K member with a hood. He's all the way at the bottom. In the center part, you could see him in the back there with a hood on. I thought I was bugging. But sure enough, he's hiding out in the basement. Motherfucker. Look at this bad boy. What a beauty. I think that's Chicago. It has to be. Look at this shit I found. It says, I don't know how true this is, but once again, these are Q. What are they, James Bond? Fuck. Says, you know about the underground tunnels and dumps, yeah? But do you know about the fucking things in the way? Oh, the North American submarine tunnels? Right through the nation? Not on the coast. I can't read that other word, it's blocked. Something. This operation has been so massive and has taken so long, infiltration takes on a whole meaning, doesn't it? Chinese submarines. Man, people still think another country is gonna invade America. It's already been invaded. With no bullets, no submarines. Man, people fall. They got people looking outside the country for the problem, but it's right in their fucking face. Anyway.
Well, you've seen, obviously, because we've talked about it, the TV series Silo.
Yeah, Silo. That's one of my favorite shows. Well, I've seen both seasons, but the last season when he goes down there and somebody's speaking to him through like a speaker or whatever, you know, but you can't see the person. That's the people that are running all 51 silos as an experiment.
51 states. Think about 51 states. So
I know, that's what I was thinking about.
At the end of season 1, when the woman got out and looked up and then realized there was a whole bunch of them.
I thought it was going to be like, they got me because I thought it was going to be like nice and plants everywhere. But it was exactly what they were showing.
Well, again, this is where I'm going with it. To that point of you saying underground cities. We see above ground cities and how long it takes to build buildings and all that. But if you can start carving things in underground, then you have the concept of the silo. Then you also have the concept of when people see all these windmills everywhere, do people really truly investigate how those things are built? How do they actually preserve energy? No different when you see every so often a lot of cities, these massive pipes that are sticking out of the ground. Again, it would
ventilation
be so,
system for air.
yeah, that's what I'm going with. So it'll be no different having a submarine with ventilation system. So is it possible that they use holograms to give us the illusion with our senses? We see this layer, but then there could be other layers.
I've seen old pipes in the ground like that, and I just wanted to say in the woods, but it makes me wonder now.
Mm-hmm. No different when people we kind of like nonchalantly say, oh yeah, that's just the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, it's just the Bermuda Triangle. So for whatever reason, there's a lot of things that are strangely happen when people either fly over there or take a boat over there, you know, and then we nonchalantly say, well, there's things like portals, you know, and then they show pictures of whirlwinds within an ocean. So a lot of these things are possible. Can we prove it, Charles? That's a tough one. Again, that's ultimately what I always put as a template. I'm chilling with Charles and I see an alien. How would I explain that to my wife or to my parents? Like, I could use language, but they would have to, and if I built some sort of trust with them, yeah, we trust you, Dom. We still can't confirm it, but we trust you enough that you saw aliens. Oh, okay. This is why in the old days, or even today, where people do give trust to other people because your forefathers said, okay, this family or this person's trustworthy. Again, I can only speculate when I talk about some of this stuff. Even if I ever got presented to some of it, I would still talk like I'm speculating.
Yeah, I'm just investigating, like you say. I don't know, but I'm very interested, and I'm trying to know. Like this right here, I fell upon this guy. I forgot his name. We'll look it up, but that's under New York City. Allegedly, he was going to build this, and then under that city, supposed to. It kind of looks like our realm, the cosmic egg. It's like a realm within a realm. I forgot his name. He was a major player with these big corps, I think, corporations. These dead entities.
We could be, you know, like if we met something that's an energy being, I'm speculating obviously again, an energy being, and then to us, we would be very like you use like the corporations, we would be mortal. You're like, you know, it's like, okay, you guys only live 80 years. That'll be like me and you, Charles, looking at a bunch of ants. And yeah, you guys live maybe, I don't know, a month, you know, or a fly, a nuisance as you are. You got 2 weeks on you at best for you. We would be insignificant if we ever met something that says, yeah, that was nice. Sequoia trees, they live 300 or 400 years, but that's still, that's a blip. I think that's why you hear stories anyway about the Egyptian pharaohs. You know, they wanted to be, you know, mummified because they were sold something about you could become immortal. Okay, you would have to have met something that's immortal to want to be immortal.
I could have sworn. I fucking downloaded this. I don't know. It's getting difficult to tell the difference between AI and fucking. There's some really good AI videos. I got a better picture of this building. I forgot again. I gotta write this shit down, but I have so many pictures. I think this is New York. Yes, this was in New York. That's right. Masterpiece right here. Don't exist, I don't think, anymore, if I'm not mistaken. This is also New York. And you could tell it's affected by the mud flood if you look at how in all of New York, you got to go, the ground floor is the basement now. Mm-hmm. And who knows if that's the true ground floor. It could go down more and more.
A sunken bungalow. I'd be curious to know how those boiler rooms look like in those places. The electrical rooms and how they actually
My building had an old boiler in the building. I remember the building over where I used to live. I used to hide behind this boiler. It was huge. this old boiler. It sounded, when it would come on, it sounded like an inferno. But it worked very well. Probably better than these new junk. But they're expensive to maintain. That's the problem, because the parts are hard to come by now.
Even the labor is probably hard to come by. It's kind of like when, people that used to do gargoyles on buildings, to find some person that's still does that craft. It's like guys that do crown molding in the old days, or plaster. As new technology or other types of technology come to be or revisits us, older skill sets usually aren't needed. Like stonemasons were really important way back when, like, because you're showing all these buildings. That's stonemasons. Can you imagine?
Beautiful work. They understood energy and the flow of it too.
Somebody
they didn't
did.
just stack squares on top of each other.
Well, those are what we would call architects. They
Yeah.
understand that. Now the guys that actually work it, they're literally using their hands. There's quite a few among them probably knew, and they understood it too, right? Where, like, how do they know to build those pillars? At that height. They must have known, or somebody must have known the surface. Okay, is this an earthquake zone? Because we can't build these kind of buildings. It's like when I've seen those Asian buildings, they put these absorbers underneath the buildings. I've never had the
Like
chance.
the Twin Towers, that Japanese architect that made the Twin Towers.
Something like that, yeah, Charles. And it can absorb, things like even here in Canada with the CN Tower. The point actually moves quite a few feet. They've talked about they could build high rises that could be easily 300 stories high. But the issue that they have is the elevators would have to be so big to accommodate hundreds of thousands of people working in those offices. So that's what usually stomps them. But the fact that they can build, or at least in this case speculate, they can build these high rises and they can literally wave back and forth, that's fascinating. That'll be like whoever created sequoia trees or redwood trees. Those things are massive. Obviously, the root system must be just as amazing as it is up above. And that's, for me, I go into those moments of aha, like more not aha, but it humbles me. I've been in the presence of a tipped over redwood tree. It was fucking humongous. Me and my wife, when we were traveling, I'm like, okay, I'm small again.
Yeah, redwood trees are amazing.
They are.
Whatever's left of them.
And I think sequoia trees actually are in pairs. Like, I think there's a female and male. So
Look at this architecture. I was looking at it, and I see the arch, and I look up in the arch, and you see these. If you zoom in, I can't zoom in, but they're like, I think, hexagonal shapes, almost like this thing would produce some sort of frequency or tone. Doorways are called portals, because you're entering another room. But and I had other pictures. I don't know what happened to them, like this. People took a caves, and they almost look like they were some sort of structures. Something cooked them out. I mean, when I think about a lot of these cooked buildings or whatever happened, you got freaking titans laying on their back looking up. You got cooked out buildings. Like, I just think this is an enclosed place, but as far as they say it is, I can't prove that it is, but actually, yeah, you can prove it. Not so much prove it, but pretty much. Anyway, I get into that later, but it has to be a lot of heat to melt, or pretty much melt or cook a brick. A lot of heat.
Traditionally, yeah, we would have to lean towards it has to be the element of heat. to to mold those kind of things, like in this case, stones or rocks. Would we be thrown off if all of a sudden another element presents itself? Probably. You know, we feel safe knowing that we can describe things, or, you know, as science would say, empirical evidence. You know, they've tested it over and over again on the material part, so they can validate the patterns that they see. And that's what they would call empirical evidence. But yet they'll use languages that's not empirical evidence.
Have you seen the new John Levy video?
No, I haven't seen it.
Put it out I think it was this morning or yesterday, but excuse me, I watched it this morning. And he has the same question I do, which is, you know, it's good to see other people on the same page as me sometimes. Like, he's wondering also in Africa. I look at maps in the 1500s, and there's castles everywhere. And he goes there now on Google Earth, and all there is these remains of castles and desert. And that's another place that was cooked to hell, was Africa. And I'm looking at their desert on the top part. I'm thinking, man, that place was all jungle, and there's lakes that are on the map that are no longer there. They're all dried up. Something cooked that place too. Then, if you want to get on a bigger level, if you take all the desert, where all the shit's cooked and all these melted buildings, and you look, it's all between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, all the way around the realm in 360 degrees. It's cooked, all desert, all near the equator, all where the fucking sun goes. So maybe a Titan was playing Burn the Ant with a fucking lens.
I'm with you on that, Charles. You just need an invisible or even a visible spaceship that's made out of magnet, and as it goes across the Earth's surface during the sun's rays, next thing you know, it'll be baking whatever's underneath it. You know, regardless if it's rocks, trees, humans, it wouldn't be. You know, to me, the way you're describing it sounds like it's just an etch-a-sketch, and they can change whatever landscape that they want. You know, and then of course, whoever created or made this realm, I'll use the word realm, they put a lot of effort to understand the layers, have different atmospheres, make sure we have different seasons. You know, it's kind of like building a little human community, and your forefathers have put a lot of work, and they're counting on the next generation to continue it. You know, so like I said, it's been shown, and I think that's where philosophy comes in, and it sounds like John Levy does that too, where, you know, you ask a lot of questions, you know, and if you're in these, you know, wisdom, you know, I want to have discernment opposed to judgment, because a lot of people that do judgments, they're trying to prove the information that they already brought in, opposed to coming in with a beginner's mind and say, okay, I'm going to refrain from making any judgment, and then I'll take it for what it is. It's like being a child again.
The hell they do to Jesus, man. Look, he's in Saturn's cube right here, and then boom, the moon comes in. He's got pistols in his hand. What the fuck's he got a seatbelt on? And they put him in a thong, yo. How they put the man in a thong?
Rap is good. Rap is good. They don't want to scare the kids.
Let me find out Jesus is the Baphomet. Let me find out he be cross-dressing.
Again, this is how we interpret the stories. You know, the Bible, the Quran's been rewritten many times. The story or the ideal of Jesus, regardless if it's the story of Jesus, the man, or Jesus, the solar. You know. Anyway, sorry, Charles.
Jesus is, I personally think, I'll pull it up in a minute. I think Jesus is the sun god, right? And then you got, that's Ra. Damn. You got Isis, which is the moon goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got El, which is, I forgot how it went, but it made a lot of sense to me. Look at this island off the coast of Africa. Looks like a fingerprint. And much of these other islands do too.
Looks like a bacteria underneath a microscope. It's moving.
Crazy.
It's a virus.
They built that like that though. It's all brick. And it literally looks like a fingerprint. And after that, people over there don't even know how it was done because they didn't do it. They said.
We're sharing. Hi, Charles.
I just wanted to say I think we inherited this place, and I don't know where we came from, but most of this land, it wasn't ours. I don't know where we came from, but more like we came out of beneath the earth.
Well, you can use your classic statement. You were the first one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the bus. And it's cool that the Aboriginals are figuring out who they are, man. I respect it 1,000%, man. I'm with it, but then I question: were you really? A lot of Aboriginals don't say they were the first people. They say they were here, and they were being written out of history, and I get it.
They could be.
And then I'm hearing all these bad things about German people again. About some of the Germans that came to America and this and that, and I'm just like, man.
Well, you have to have a story.
People don't never have nothing nice to say about Germans.
Well, yeah, you have to have a story. You have to have its opposing or variations of the story. So I know people have talked about, and we could speculate, that Africa, was the origin of where humanity came from. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they were the creator. That could have been the first place where humans started getting manipulated. Now they've speculated, again, you have to take it with a grain of salt, some of these old philosophers or wise people that used to go into these deep states and would say that there's different land places where people talk about Odin, Atlanta, Germanica. These or the forest, or where they hold up all the bodies of water. That's a lot of speculation, and that's all we can do. But a person cannot defend or attack something. That's just a speculation. That's like saying God doesn't exist. Okay, so somebody says that he does, and then you say it doesn't. Can either one prove it? You can't. That goes back to the Earth's surface.
I don't think being first matters anyway, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
But people will eventually change first to that we're the owners. No, you're not. You're not the owners. It could have been where that's where a lot of different cultures went. Maybe. We could play the idea we're one race, we're many races, whatever. The question would be for each individual, it's a starting base, how does it serve you to know that? It's like, okay, there's the chicken, there's the egg. Okay, my question is, who's giving me thoughts? Because you're trying to bring me down into the material and say, okay, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I said, does it matter? But for some people, they'll build kingdoms based on that, or flags on that. That's where the divide and conquer comes. It's once a person takes a position, you're in the game.
People want to feel more superior than the next.
It's true. That's the whole concept of mastery and slavery. Both of them have to be programmed. Somebody could turn and say, yeah, but I want to be a master. I said, you got to be programmed. What about the hidden hand? You can play the chessboard game, black or white, red or black, king and queen. But then the question is, where's the hidden hand? I don't know, Dom. I said, there you go. You've learned something. What do you mean? You're humble enough to say you don't know. So now let's speculate. But it's the guy or the institution that go around and say, but I do know. I said, okay, so let me understand this. And I'm going to try to understand this. This is the game I play, Charles. You're telling me that you look into a telescope and you're seeing what somebody's called Venus. Okay, so how can you confirm if that's made out of that substance? They quickly will revolt and then say shit like, well, science. No, I'm asking you. I'm not asking science, because if I did, I would ask for a name. They don't know. So at that point, we can speculate. But when people just want to argue for the sake of arguing, they got to pick an opponent. Okay, Dom, I want you to pick blue. I'll be red. Dom, I want you to be right. I want to be left. Okay, but can we switch it up after? Well, no, I got to take a position. I said, okay, so you got to take a position, and I'm forced to take another position.
It's like playing cowboys and Indians or cop and robber when you're a little kid.
There you go. I said, no, I want to be the kinky hooer. I don't want to play cops or robbers, but I get it. We're limited half full, half empty mentality, zeros and ones, black and white. I said, okay, but what about all the other shades? What about all the other numbers? That's why when people play cognitive dissonant, what they end up doing is they eventually take one side out of the two choices that they've been given or they've given themselves. It makes their life simpler, but confusing at the same time. They're not questioning all the different dogmas, religion, biology, science, state. They're not questioning those things. And those questions isn't to talk to other people, questioning oneself. So how does that work for me? It doesn't. Okay, but I'm still here. I might find that I'm living in a well and it sucks, but I'm still here. So it's my attitude now that I have to rely on. Again, Charles, I enjoy speculating, but I'm very grounded. So I'll speculate till no end. Okay, that's nice. So we think the elites are doing all of this. Okay, give me a name, because I just heard science. I needed a name. Why? Are they still alive? Well, no. I said, okay, so who's trustworthy enough that's going to regurgitate whatever that person said? This goes to the story of Jesus and the Bible or the Quran. Fuck, you can even talk about the Constitution at that point. So these people that formed the Constitution, who did it serve? You're trying to tell me that people of old that used to be called peasants or slaves are included in all of this? Sure you are, Dom. Okay, so I'm in the cement mix, so I'm included that way. Well, yeah. So then that it can explain why people are trillionaires. There's other people that are landowners. They openly talk about this shit. They don't talk about owning anything. They leave that for the masses. Yeah, you go ahead. You guys believe that you own anything, and yet you're going to be happy. The happy part's the hard part. The owning part, I don't own fuck all.
That's the trick, man. They want you to fall in love with the material because someone's got to buy their products,
And we do. Charles, we do. How many people could say, okay, Dom, you have drones? I said, yeah. Whether I have drones or somebody says, Dom, I bought a 21-inch chrome bling bling rims. Okay. Did you make those things? Well, no. I said, so you're like me. You're a consumer. I bought a laptop. I buy phones, whether used or new, usually used. But it doesn't matter. I still have to appreciate somebody else is going to purchase it, let alone somebody else is going to make it. But most people, I hate to say this, but I'm overgeneralizing. Some people go around like as though they live in their own little world, but yet they want to participate. Hence, I want my cake and eat it. Okay, but you're not making your cake. And let's say you do make your cake. Okay, are you making the house that you're baking this cake in? Well, not really. Are you using that Wolf Fritz stove to create that? That's a more expensive stove, but nevertheless, we don't create those things. That's why I always find it funny when I hear humans say we create. There's not a fucking thing humans create. We make things, but we don't create things. The substance is already here. Even when humans say, yeah, but I created a human. No, you didn't. You reproduced it.
You carbon copy.
There you go, a photocopy. It's not the original one. And even if it is the original one, who created it at that point? I'm speculating at that point. Doesn't mean I'm going to have an answer. And everything else that's going to validate, Dom, you don't really lean towards right or wrong. Go ahead.
Look, Dom, you know about this stuff. Look at his feet. This is what I said the other day. I pay attention to how they stand, their hands, one up, one down. Then I noticed this. Bing! With this guy, same thing. Feet, one up, one down. But he has a pole in his hand. A scepter. But this guy's standing the same way with his feet. They always got one up, one down for some reason, as above, so below.
Well, they have those triangles, and it's the triangle in that position. That's where we're talking about three-dimensional. And the as above, so below, it's usually misinterpreted by people a lot. As above, so below. The earth is just the middle part. So whatever occurs up there also occurs down there. This is why when people study or observe lightning strikes, it's coming from both places.
That's what I mean when I say up in the heavens and the stars and all that, and maybe there might be land up there somehow, and in the Sheol below our feet.
Well, it's even when people talk about northeast, west, south. They think it's on a flat surface. No. North is up, south is down, east and west go sideways.
Yeah.
And once people realize that, east becomes west and west becomes east. but north is always north and south is always south. Now, they might turn around. Go ahead.
I thought you were finished.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I wanted to ask, what's up with these boxes they wear, the Jewish tradition? What's that supposed to do?
Could humans bear the fact that maybe the Earth itself isn't a cube? It's like
that's what I think it is. Some sort of machine.
It would explain a lot of things. Now, could there be a dome or circle within a cube? Could be. But again, I can only speculate. A lot of these people that act these things out and practice these rituals doesn't mean they understand it.
Maybe that's why the Masons got a compass and square also, because it is a circle within a square.
Among them, they're probably trying to learn which one's reawakening. Because it's like, I was raised Roman Catholic, okay, Charles? Once I started doing some investigation and I found out human behavior involved all of it, I thought, I'm not interested in it. But for a lot of people, they're involved in that group we'll call Catholics. It doesn't mean majority of them even understand what it means to be a Catholic and what all the symbols mean. It's the same thing with Jewish people or Muslims people. They're not going to really understand, okay, so we go to Mecca. Okay, well, why don't we go to Petra anymore? What do you mean? Well, that was the hub a long time ago. So, especially when my cousin recently told me, it costs like about $20,000 if you're going to do like a journey going to Mecca. For the hotel, you got to pay for the animals that you're going to sacrifice. It's Vegas at that point. But for a lot of people, they just see it from a distance, or when you start seeing a whole bunch of, Jewish men, I think it's usually Jewish men, they're in some sort of synagogue and they do this dance performance. Think about Indian tribes that do rain dances. You're basically bringing in energy into that circle. No different if, Charles, you start playing with singing bowls. You're bringing energy to it. Now, a person will say, well, I don't think that's true. I said, okay. Have you done it? Have you gone inwards? Well, not really. So then what are you actually attacking? Or in this case, for a lot of people, what are you defending? See, this is why when people start getting degrees, like say somebody says, I'm a scientist. Okay, you got a degree. I'm a physician.
Don't sound good, that word, degree. It sounds like you're going backwards.
Yeah. Or you could
take away.
Or you could use other words like modalities. Many people have modalities, different crafts. Whatever word you want to explain it to yourself, that's what counts. To other people, it's just a way of communicating. Okay, Dom, so I don't like using the word degree. Okay, what word would you use? Well, I would use modality. Okay, so every time I say the word degree, in your head, before you actually memorize that or whatever, change the word within yourself. Don't expect me to be your babysitter. Because I do that with myself. That's why I question words. I just question it out loud. Charles, why do you say that word? And I'm hoping at the same time, none of us are trying to think that we can own words. This is why you own nothing. I don't own the language I use. Can I be accountable for it? Yes. To a point that they're going to imprison me, in this case, my suit? No, I'm already in prison. What do you mean? I'm in my suit.
When you said that I own nothing, I said that in one of my rhymes. I was like, I forgot how I put it. I think I said something about, they said, well, own nothing, that must be a joke. Whatever. But I think back and I'm like, man, I see my growth. I'm like, oh, I cringe when I hear it. Like, man, but I like to listen to my old stuff, which I don't have many old songs, but I'm working on my catalog. But I like to listen to my old stuff and see my growth of. I grew past that, and everything is rented here. Even this meat suit is rented. Time's rented. Everything's rented.
Rented, temporary, whatever word people want to use it. You're in a mortal form. The ideal that people are sold something first. You can own something. That's the game. And then we can take it away from you now. What do you mean? Well, it's legal now to bloodlet. Yesterday it was illegal. Okay. So again, this is where people play with the ideal that, okay, but I've been conditioned. Yeah, no different when people talk about the letter of the law or laws. Most humans still think, well, governments are, officials are making laws. No, they're not. Laws are for governing of nature. What humans do is policies. That's why we have acronyms of FORS. And people usually just play with acronyms of threes. If people understand the letters of the laws, what they stand for, let alone the letter of news, they'll grasp it. But for a lot of folks, oh no, but humans do this. If I do this, it's against the law. No, it's not. You can't, nature is wild and untamed and needs boundaries. That's why we have letters of the laws. But with humans, yeah, okay, Charles, me and you can't smoke marijuana today. Okay, but who gave us the ability to know how to smoke that plant? Well, I don't know. I said, well, until that person presents himself, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do.
I don't know. A botanist?
Well, they can discover it, but again, it's like, okay, Charles, we're gonna go in a jungle.
Like you said with the berries. Someone smoked it and was like, "Oh, it's good."
Or
they
scientists
tested it out.
of old used to talk about they would get into these states. They would do maybe cocaine or something. They would learn certain things about the material, and then something would present itself and fill in the gaps. So in this case, Charles, me and you going into the jungle. Yeah, Charles, you see that plant over there and you see that dirty old water over there? We're going to put it together and we're going to call it ayahuasca. Oh, okay. Again, there's a lot that gets downloaded, as some people use the word, into thoughts. This is why when people say, yeah, but my mind or my brain's being manipulated, I said, that's a given. You have to be your own gatekeeper, meaning this in this sense, do you question everything? Do you question all the favorable things? Well, no, I don't. I said, well, then you're not going to question all the unfavorable things. You have to be fair that way. Now, a person said, but I ignore it. I said, okay, so you even ignore all your success. Okay. If they're being honest with the self, I'm going to change the word. If they're being honest with the program. Because the ego might interfere. In this case, the body will say, no, Charles, Dom, I don't want to jump off a fucking bridge, even though there's water down there. We just don't want to jump down there because maybe it knows, yeah, but there's jagged edges under the water and your senses can't pick that up. And when you do pick it up, it's a little bit too late. This is where the slave and mastery concept comes from within. Again, I'm talking about conditioning programs. If I was not a slave, then I would have to ask questions like, okay, so how did I get conditioned with this language? And I just can't punk it off and say, well, that's just what we do. No, I'm questioning language. How did I learn this language? Well, I went to school. I said, okay, I know I probably learned thousands of words, but how do I know millions of words? I read books. Well, who taught us how to read books? These are questions. And at that point, it should badger you enough to say, are you ready now to humble yourself? Because most people aren't. They're going to be like, they're drowning in their vessel. Oh no, Dhamma. And then they'll start cherry picking. This is what religion says. This is what science says. Science, the only way I can prove science is valid is if I denounce religion. That doesn't prove anything about science. And vice versa. They say shit. There's a big bang. Okay, there's a big bang. How does that work? Now, I'm willing to hear other people, Charles, in that case. But if they're going to tell me stories, I said, okay, are you going to be honest and at least admit that you're telling me a story? Well, no, Dom. I think it's real. Okay, so then we have to discuss what is real. Is that real? It's consistent. It's persistent, as some people say. But is it real? And what is it real to? Oh, it's real to my senses. Okay, can your senses easily be misled? What do you mean? I said, if all of a sudden they put a third and fourth sun in the sky, what would that prove? Would that prove that your senses pick up those things? Or does it mean it could easily be misled because people have always seen only one sun up there and now you see two or three? Well, those are holograms. And who told you they're holograms? Anyway, I went on a long about sideways rant.
I was looking into that fucking stupid rally thing they had across the country. And they're calling they got people going to left versus right garbage. People just can't see the problems both sides, right? And one.
Change left and right to zeros and ones, black and white. Once you start seeing that, you realize they're only giving people two choices, because people limit themselves with 2 choices, and they're going to allow themselves to say, okay, but now force yourself into 1. That's voting again, all over again. Charles, I'll give you blue or green. Forget about red, forget about orange, but I'll give you blue and green.
The whole spectrum. Or I see the whole spectrum.
Yep.
Just like duality, it comes from one source, and they split it into 2.
Or it could be many sources. It could be literally many, hence chaos. Order is very
just
limited.
Like there's many gods or creators.
Yep.
Like I tell people, you think one creator created all this? I said, you've probably heard me say this before.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when people build a car, there's all types of people working together to create that car.
Mm-hmm.
What makes this place any different?
Mm-hmm. And even if you did build cars with only a handful of people, you still need millions of people that are going to drive all those different cars. Because if not, then there's, okay, so human race has got to a point where 3,000 people created something that only 1-2 people use. There's many parts to these things, but for a lot of people, they try to make it nice and tidy. I'll make a list, and on that list, I'll have a column. And that makes my life simple, opposed to, how about you have many different columns, many subdirectories? Well, then that's too much information. I said, okay, at least you tell me where you stand. You know, it's no different somebody that's running or somebody that's doing hurdles. They got to think about more than just, like, I'm just going to run and jump over hurdles. No, they got to know exactly where your knees need to be and your legs. And some of them can even be looking over to left and right. Limitation is when people are given choices and then they allow them, herd yourself, pick a side. You know, I'm half right, I'm half wrong. I said, what happened if I don't even want to play with wrong, let alone right? At that point, you're looking at the outside looking in. Why? Because the inside part is where most people limit themselves. Black or white. You got humans calling each other black and white. Fuck, they've even distorted people by saying, listen, I'm looking at my color of my skin, and today it's more tan than it was yesterday, so I'm a different shade today. But I'm supposed to fit into the category of black and white. At that point, Charles, if I was a programmer, I'd be laughing. I said, we're safe. These people are going to probably spend time fighting with each other. You know, hey, they're right up there with the Catholics and the Muslims or the liberals against the conservatives. Give them limited choices. We're like cows. You know, do I give cows many choices, or I give them 2 choices and then they're going to fight among themselves? No, this is the best way to go into the slaughterhouse. Okay. Sorry for laughing, Charles, but fuck, we're a funny bunch.
Oh, I laugh all the time.
You know, think about the musical industry.
Disappointing.
It can be disappointing, Charles, but again, we're limiting ourselves, thinking it should only be funny or it's disappointing. You know, like think about the
disappoint myself, even acknowledging the shit.
Yeah, well, you brush yourself up, you get back up, and say, I'll get the double play next time.
Peace to Lev Kung Fu Shaolin. I like that name. If you watch Kung Fu movies, you should watch The Wandering Monk.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that in the 80s. You know, like they could like have a cut in their back, do a 50-foot leap, and you know, at the same time throw a whole bunch of stars at people. Those are great. You know, again, get to play with your imagination. Is that real? Meaning that practical people can do that? Maybe, but for the average human, no, they're not going to be able to do that.
I'm trying to remember who Lev Kung Fu Shaolin is. He said he joined my panel when I first started. That was like 7 years ago. 8 maybe. Damn, I think it's 9 years already.
You offer a lot, Charles, with your panel. I mean, with your panel and also with your channel. What other people do with it, that's on us. You know, those bigger channels you see that have, when I say bigger channels, I'm talking about maybe they have like a lot of subscribers, or they probably run it like yeah, they probably run it like a business. You know, regardless if people want to speculate that they're, you know, they might have inside connections. It's like anything. Like you can look at a building, like you like looking at buildings. That's a landmark, and a lot of those buildings were probably owned by a handful of people. You know, so, but at the same time, they'll put different names on it. So YouTube would be no different than like paper industries. You're going to have a whole bunch of people that will donate their time and effort to put articles into a newspaper. That's what YouTube is. It's a newspaper all over again. Or it's a little bit like books. You know, let me see if I can write a book and then present it to somebody in the book industry, and they'll take off with it. But anyway, I was going to say earlier, even in the music industry, they limit people by saying, is it 440 or 432? There's many energies that we can gauge with numbers. Why limit to 440 or 432?
Man, Frenchie Kush. I haven't heard from him in a long while. I'm trying to make music with him, but
that's why in the music industry, whatever genre it was, they eventually put members together. That's why we have boy band, girl bands. I think the Beatles were set up that way too. You know, you get a lot of people that really love the craft. They'll play all kinds of instruments or even rappers. And next thing you know, once you start circulating among them, they get things done because you have agents and they got to perform. In this case, they got to make sure they get a whole bunch of people that have certain types of music. And if you have a good song, but you're not ready for you to be promoted, they'll ask you for the rights for those songs. So another rapper can sing those songs. Because a lot of songs that are, you know, sung by rappers, they're not their songs. They might have an image that they want, and that particular rapper holds it. You have a certain height, you come from a certain city, we can make up the story that you got shot and knifed 10 times. You know, those are stories. Whether they're real or not, they're still stories. You know, why would it serve to know that 50 Cent got stabbed so many times? Because his brother, you know, 2 quarters and a nickel didn't do that.
I'm going to call myself Nickel.
Nickels and dimes and wasted old pennies. And again, it might sound funny, but
yeah, but he took his name from the real 50 Cent. A lot of these rappers, like what's that dude in Miami? That fat dude in Miami with the beard. He stole. A lot of these rappers take the real person's name.
Well, those aren't real names. That's the thing, Charles. When you have an alias name, like say YouTubers, that's copyright infringement. You can't just go around using your name and bring it to TikTok unless TikTok has an agreement with YouTube. So a lot of these rappers, the reason why they're allowed to use former rappers' name is because those names do not belong to those rappers at all. 50 Cent, Puff Daddy. No, that belongs. That belongs.
Like, who calls a man daddy? Like, what the fuck?
But it sells because people like to hear that kind of stuff. Whether that's a psychological thing, you know, I have an issue with my daddy or my mom. You know, they say mommy.
You think Puff's really in jail? I don't.
But even if he is or isn't, you know, he's going to be used as an example. How he's treated through the public courts is one way. How is he going to be treated in the private courts, in this case, among his peers? That's a different game. So either A, he was spewing certain things, or he might have said some shit about other members, and he's being punished. It's like a Bill Cosby situation.
You've been a bad boy, Puffy.
You know, you can go around doing all your sexual activities, but just don't do all that other shit. You know what I mean? They do that on a regular basis. It's just when they turn their attention to something, it's to show a message to the rest of the members that this is what happens when you step out of line. And that happens in all industries, and not just the American musical industry. I could say that about Bollywood. You could say that about in Asia. You know, you got to step in line. That's why I put the concept of an oath. You know, once you sign an oath, you have a witness. And if you don't know what you're signing, that soul contract doesn't matter. You're still ours. You can cry all you want. You can bitch and complain. You could go around and telling people but you signed an oath.
Yeah.
We might not get you. We might not get you now, but we'll get you later. Don't worry about the fucking suture.
Oh, they'll get you.
Sure,
They'll get you.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to run. You could run, but there's nowhere to hide, man. They'll find you.
That's right. And then we'll find you in another lifespan. You know, that's why you change the word
They
soul.
take them contracts serious.
Sure they do,
Especially
but-
if you sign it in blood, you're fucked.
Well, it's showing that you understand the severity. It's kind of like getting a mortgage. The people on the other side might be playing a game. That other person that's signing the mortgage, I said, you better understand what you're getting into. You know, this is why when people talk about soul contract, change the word soul to data. It's a data contract. It's memory now. You committed yourself. It's like when you hear people say shit like, I will do anything to become famous and rich. I said, anything? Are we sure? What do you mean? Well, let's do some spiritual cooking. How about you eat whatever that's on that table? Oh, I don't know what that is. You said you'll do anything to become rich, right? Well, yeah. You know you're a dime a dozen, right? What do you mean? Well, we can make anybody famous. You know, when they openly report, we stripped Saddam Hussein of all his wealth. It tells you the digital system's already been here. But I get it. People think for some reason, they're just joking. Really? I thought I was already joking by saying this is all fun and games. Once you're involved in that game, you better understand the rules. And the rules are clear cut. Win or lose. I just like to play the game. I'm not focusing on all that kind of stuff, but I still realize I'm still in the game. And the higher the stakes, the bigger the gain or losses. If you're prepared to win earn or win $1 million, you got to be prepared to lose it too. And it might not literally, for them on the other side, they say, well, we don't care about money. We want you. Who's me? We don't want your persona. We want who you are. We don't give a shit the color of your skin. We don't give a shit about your gender. We want you. How so? We want you to work for us. Oh, okay. People might think that's all fantasy. Okay, if it's fantasy, then explain to me how the fuck Wi-Fi came to be. Explain how cars came to be. Explain how fucking language came to be. Well, I don't know none of that stuff. So at that point, shut the fuck up. You don't got a fucking clue what's going on here, do you? And I don't give a shit how old you are. I don't give a shit, you know, you might sound pretty and all that kind of stuff. Now, that's me being an idiot right now, Charles, because I want to see if they're even developed emotionally. If they defend anything that I just said or get all upset, I said, you just revealed yourself. And now you want to play with the big boys? You're not going to play with the big boys. And if you do sell out, no problem. Most people have already bought into the system, but you want to sell out. Are you going to hold up for the best price? You know, they throw in front of us people that are billionaires. That's fuck all in that world. In my world, I can say, yeah, I'm a billionaire. Okay, so I'm a billionaire. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of knocks on my door. It's like opening up a store. As soon as you open a store, you'll see all the distributors knocking on your door. Can you sell some of our wares? Okay. What do you want me to sell? I want you to sell condoms in your store in the front. Oh, but I want to sell gums to the kids. No, we want to sell condoms to other people because we no longer want to have those fucking kids coming to your store. I don't agree with that. Well, then why did you open up a store then? People are clever that way to a point where they fucking fool themselves. And then we go right back to the initial topic. Let's limit ourselves to not left or right. Let's limit ourselves to right and wrong. Oh, okay. So now we've removed left and we're going to put wrong. That's a pious position to be, to think that you really grasp things and you think it's right or wrong. How would I know what is right? Let alone how would I know something's wrong? Well, you just know, Dom. How? I'm giving a scientific question. How? Prove it to yourself and I'll hear you.
That's what this thing was. I think it was in all the states. Because I know, I don't think it was in Hartford. I looked. I know it was in New Haven. But anyway, that all these Democrats came out to speak against Trump. You know, these people act like Trump is fucking the only crooked president ever.
He's a puppet.
They're all crooked.
I don't know if he's crooked, but he's a puppet with a string.
Now, Charles, man, you came to my panel yesterday looking for me, man.
Ha! Yo, that's the fastest I ever seen True Zone move. I was like, Dom wants to debate you, man. Why'd you leave? He came over here.
I ain't debating this old fool.
That was funny, man. True Zone was here in 2.1 seconds. I didn't even get back to the panel a second, and you were over here.
I was
You put
live
all them
yesterday.
hats.
Yo, you came up, I was live, bro. I was like, when I
You
started
knew I was
showing,
bullshitting.
y'all already know. I was like, man, I say he trolling, man. I said, Dom don't want to goddamn debate me. And so every time I get on that panel, that man, he get quiet.
You guys got to get along. Just because
I
you
ain't
see,
getting
we
along
don't
with
have to get
you.
along,
Nah,
but
good, bro.
you guys see things different. Fuck it, man. It is what it is.
I ain't got nothing to say to dude, man. I don't got no respect for. I don't talk to people I ain't got respect for. So I'm not trying to make amends with him. I don't even want to talk to him. He can, whatever he talking about, that shit he talking about. I don't care about. That nigga live inside a potato chip bag, man. Like, give me something that I can take, that I can leave YouTube and take with me. This shit he be talking about, bro. I mean, teach his own, bro. You know, I'm not gonna badger somebody for the beliefs or the the ideology is just, bro. Certain people just can't. You know, we like water and oil. We're not gonna mix, bro. You know.
Did you go to that? I don't even know what to call it, man. They called it No Kings. I'm not going to them things.
Hell no. I heard about it. I was like, man, I said they protesting about one man, bro. Like they think that one man. What Kanye was saying that song? Not one man should have all that power. Trump don't got that power. That nigga's a puppet, bro. Like y'all protesting a puppet. That's like protesting the owner of a McDonald's.
But that's what they
It's like,
wanted. They got what they wanted.
Right. But these people fail to realize you're not really protesting the people that print the money. I haven't seen a protest against the Federal Reserve, the people that print the money. I haven't seen a protest against the people that brought the educational system to fruition. I haven't seen none of the people that's spraying the air with motherfucking chemtrails so called. You protesting, you better off protesting the nigga that own McDonald's if you're gonna protest against Trump. He's just a car salesman. He's just selling you a car, and now you mad because you don't got in the car, you don't went down the street and the motherfucking car done broke down. He sold you, he's selling people a product. So Republicans, they buy this right wing conservative product, and they buy into it, and then once they get it, they get the product, they open it up. Like, man, this is bullshit right here. Same thing with the so-called Democrats. That left and right wing shit. That's all. We already know. We passed all that, bro. All that shit.
But you know how Trump put soldiers in all these cities?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny how the government shut down, and I just read that next month that most people, probably the whole country, is getting no food stamps. So that means next month nobody's gonna have a Thanksgiving. The people that get food stamps ain't gonna eat. It's gonna be some fucking riots going on here. Hungry people.
I don't see that happening because certain states, but yeah, the food stamps is part of the federal government program. So I don't know, bro. I'll see it when I believe. I'll believe it when I see it, bro. You know they full of shit, man.
Because if people don't buy, like, all the food stamps that they give out, they get the money right back. So it all goes right back.
Man, it's a protest saying no king. Who's supposed to be the king?
Yeah, Trump.
What's the name of that one song on Lion King?
That
I
makes sense.
just can't wait to be king.
Trying to find this underground railroad because it went right through Hartford and New Britain.
Motherfuckers shit protest against motherfuckers get up on YouTube. They lying.
I want to go check out the Park River. I think this goes under the Capitol, if I'm not mistaken. The Park River. Holy shit, where's this? In Sonia? Underground tunnels from the 1800s. Is this Connecticut? Ansonia, Connecticut. Wow. Is that a dresser? Hold up. Where's Ansonia? I gotta look this up.
Yeah, left
Wow.
versus right, bro. The motherfucking right conservatives versus motherfucking. I ain't never voted before, bro. You
Huh?
know, I've never voted before, bro. I never
I
played
did.
the whole
One time.
political. You did one time, bro. I never got involved in none of that shit, bro. All that shit was always meaningless to me. I seen that shit from an early age,
That's
like.
how I felt when I voted. I just wanted to see how it felt because I used to go with my gramps and I would wait in a car and he would go vote and he would feel like so accomplished, like he did something. So this was Trump versus that cunt.
You know, some people need to feel involved, though,
Clinton.
bro. Some people go vote. Say, man, you know what? I put that man in office. It's people feel important when they do that. Like, man, I did that. What's up, D Allen, man? 502. Salute to you, though.
What was I saying?
And one of my subscribers is supposed to send me $1,000 next month. I believe it when I see it.
Mm.
He already sent me money last week, but hopefully he holds up to his word and send me that $1,000. You know who you are too, man. If you don't send it, you getting blocked.
I remember I won a contest. I was supposed to win $100 and I forgot the guy's name. And he never sent me shit. And I won the contest. I forgot the dude's name on his YouTube channel. That was fucked up. Anyway, that was a long time ago, like 3 years ago. I don't even remember the guy's name.
I was speaking of chemtrails, bro. Yeah, in my area, man, I didn't see chemtrails for like 4 or 5 days, man. I didn't speak on it, but I was looking up in
Yeah,
the
we're
sky
getting
like, what they doing?
bombarded today. Today, they're bombarding with the chemtrails.
I noticed one thing after they spray chemtrails real heavy in an area, it starts to rain and shit. That's one thing I've noticed. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. If it's
Yeah, it's cloud seeding. They're cloud seeding. But if you see waves, like if they spray and then you see waves in the skies, that's them radiating the atmosphere or microwaving it with through these towers. Like I put this video up in Reddit. If you got a Reddit account, it's all bots. Like every single comment in the video had 30 comments were all bullshit. Like if these are real people, they're dumb as a fucking doornail. And I think a doornail's smarter
what they
than
were
them.
saying, what
Just stupid shit. A lot of shit that don't even make sense. Pretty much. Fuck them. I blocked them all because they're all bots for the most part.
What, like, elaborate, bro. What was they saying? Like, what you mean? What was they saying?
Most of them were calling me a Trump supporter, and this like didn't even make sense. The shit they were saying.
Yeah, I'm probably motherfucking AI bots. Just real people, bro. You gotta think, man. A lot of people out here, man. They feed into this shit, bro. You know, like I said, I don't care about the whole political shit, bro.
I'm banned everywhere. Look, Reddit, if I post something about chemtrails or I don't get any views. YouTube, I'm fucking banned too. Odyssey, I haven't built my channel up over there enough. I should. I liked Odyssey. I haven't been there in a minute. Then I had what's these other places? Then there's
Matter of fact, you just motivated me for my next stream. That's gonna be the title of my next stream, bro. Because I like to switch it up on my channel, man.
No, you should do. I was gonna do this stream, but I'm not a black person or so-called. So I was gonna do a stream where I wanted to say, do you think it's the white man's fault or did I don't know to put black or aboriginals? Did your own people sell you out? Because I think it's a little bit of both. But I just want to hear what other people got to say. Because in the community, I never, like the Aboriginals, there's a few I heard that call out their own so-called people and say that they lied to us and sold us out, with meaning like they promote the out of Africa and told all these people, they promote it, like especially in New York. But at least in New York, the Shinnecock tribe and there's a few other tribes, they promote both.
I was speaking about that last night with somebody on my panel. I was telling them, I said with the whole Indian thing, Aboriginal thing. I mean, I don't see us being Indians because I don't do anything synonymous. I don't indulge in a cultural practice that makes me a Indian. You know, everything I do is synonymous with a Black American. You know, just a brown person. I feel like, and I told the dude, I conveyed to the dude last night. I said, I do know for a fact. I feel like, you know, brown people have always been here on this continent of America. It's just the fact is, I'm not going to try to telling myself on somebody else's culture because we have our own unique culture. Everybody has their own culture, right? But I just feel like Black people in general, we have a unique culture that a lot of other ethnicities, races of people, you know, try to mimic a copy because we do get copied a lot. Our culture does, man. Because when I look around, bro, I can be in the middle of the fucking woods, bro, in redneck city. A white dude gonna ride by playing rap music. So that let me know how much of an influence that we have on this, you know, in America. How much, you know, our culture influences everybody else here. Me in the middle of the fucking woods.
Look at it like that. I never looked at it like that. I love the music.
Bro, think about it, bro. Listen, I'm telling you, bro. When I moved, when we first moved to Louisville, Kentucky, we lived in a place called the West End. And the West End was predominantly Black. But my dad started making money, you know, he got his shit together financially, and we moved out to the suburbs. And all the white kids out there, it was kind of like a culture shock because I grew up around number of Blacks, but later on, the back end of my life, it was everything became more diverse. So when we moved to this area, D. Allen, you know what I'm talking about, the West End of Louisville, bro. You from Louisville. So when we moved up Valley, all the white boys out there, all the white kids out there was dressing like us, man. The motherfuckers had gold teeth in their mouth. I'm like, damn, they want to be just like us. So that's what I'm saying, how much of an influence that we have on, you know, on other ethnicities here, bro. Because when I seen that when I was younger, seeing them dress like us, talk like us, listening to the music, I'm like, man, yeah. We have a major impact. If a motherfucker say we don't, they're goddamn denial or they're goddamn lie. Let's call a spade a spade.
I guess, but
they know you guess, bro. It's the truth. Listen,
if you want to look at it like that,
listen,
I mean, if someone puts gold teeth in their mouth and someone else does, I mean,
no, listen, bro. That's not a white culture, though, bro. That don't come from a white culture, bro. White people don't walk around with gold. Bob and Billy and Bob, they live out on the goddamn farm. Don't walk around with gold teeth in their mouth, bro. That's what niggas do, bro. When I grew up, all my uncles in Mississippi had gold teeth in their mouth. My big brother Ton, gold teeth.
Oh yeah, I was about to say not every white person's Billy and Bob, but you're talking about Kentucky.
Gold
I don't
teeth
know
in their
about
mouth.
Billy and
My
Bob.
grandmother, Annie Mae, and down in Mississippi, mouth full of golds. I ain't never seen a white person with a mouth full of golds like that, bro. That's what I'm saying. As far as us having an influence on other cultures or other ethnicities of people, bro. It seems to me that you be in denial sometimes, Charles, bro. You know I'm telling the truth, but you just be in denial.
I just don't look at it like that. I grew up around so-called Black people, so I don't.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. But to me growing up, me seeing it, bro, I seen that's how it was. Like I told you, when we moved out to Valley Station, and me seeing all those white kids out there, you know, doing everything, copying everything that we did.
I know what you mean. Like it'd be a lot of times people from the suburban, for some reason, they're so fixed on so-called hood life, right? It's so intriguing to them. They want to be like it. While we're trying to get out of there, they want to be like it and go there.
So I found some dope ass homies. My nigga Gary Cook. Oh, Used to cut my hair white, dude, bro. We used to call that nigga Paul Wall. He nigga had a mouth full of gold, had a mouth full of diamond teeth. That was my dog. Matter of fact, I still talk to him every now and then to this day. I think he became an MMA fighter. But back in the day, bro, man, he used to hang with us, bro. He'd be the only white boy. We'd be 10 deep. 10 niggas walking down the street. He'd be hanging out with us, bro. Yeah, man. Louisville was more diverse now, though. Back then, Truth's on the correct. Bro, I wouldn't lie to you. Look what D. Allen said. Put D. Allen's chat on the screen. Truth's on is correct about that. Yeah, man, I know what the fuck I'm talking, bro. I ain't up here just to talk, be talking, just to be talking, bro. I live this shit, bro. I seen it. I evaluate shit. You know how Louisville is, D. Allen, bro. The Truth's on is correct, man. I don't be up here. You put D. Allen's chat on the screen, man.
Fucking. But yeah, I've noticed too, like maybe people, when they label videos, like I've noticed blaming the white man brings in a lot of views too. But
Bro, at the end of the day, bro, let me take some troubles.
If they call out their own. And I notice it for me too. If I just focus on shitting on the so-called white people, which I always do, the government for the most part, I even think in the government, the so-called black people stay behind the scenes purposely. Because I think this tactic they use to divide people, the black and white tactic, they know that it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very effective. You know, it's a very, I don't want to say touchy, but yeah, it is a touchy subject, and it plucks a lot of heartstrings too quick. Boom, the black and white thing. And
Bro,
if you watch the news a lot,
with
they
that shit, bro,
love the black and white fucking.
You can talk about, bro. When I do that's how I do my live streams, bro. It's mainly for entertainment, bro. The one thing, let me tell you one thing, bro. When I first came to this shit, I thought it was all about knowledge, enlightenment, some type of spiritual awakening. But dealing with this YouTube shit, bro, it's all entertainment, bro. Don't let nobody get up here and tell you different. Motherfuckers can get up here and tell you they figured out, they got the keys to the universe. They done met the supreme architect of the universe. That's all cap, bro. That's malarkey. As far as like this YouTube, us having dialogue with one another, bro, people tuning in, this might be somebody's favorite YouTube show. So as far as that, you're a content creator, bro. You're entertaining these people, bro. Once I figured that out, that's what I approached this shit differently now than how I did it when I first started doing YouTube. When I first started doing YouTube, I thought it was all about everybody, each one teach one. But now I'm to the point now I just know, bro, it's different than that, bro. This shit ain't got nothing to do with nobody learning anything. Decoding the matrix. When motherfucker wants to decode the matrix, and for motherfucker really, here I come. If a motherfucker really want to decode the matrix, man, get your ass off YouTube and go decode it that way.
Huh.
Get off YouTube right now. You really want to decode the matrix, get off YouTube and decode it.
Max said hippies and gangsters are COVID ops. Yeah, they use hip hop to, like, if you go to Chicago, they make it seem like Chicago is fucking Chirac. Like there's a war and there's guns going off all day, but that's all bullshit. And they like to do that with Hartford too, in New Haven, Connecticut. Man, I'm in Hartford all the time. Look, that shit's bullshit. They just do that because they want people, when they watch TV, the old people, be scared to death. And that's what they want, because they want the people to feel as though they need the government. Man, that shit isn't even dangerous. Yeah, it might be the slums and there might be zombified drug addicts everywhere and, you know, a lot of homeless people, but at the end of the day, it's not as dangerous as they're saying. Now, Max, that thing that I played, that video where that thing was like beep, beep, I just noticed one today in Hartford. It was a black box and it was doing that exact sound. Beep, beep, and it had no business being on the pole that it was on. I was looking at it and listening. I'm like, man, but I don't know what it is yet. I got to go back and look at it. But there's cameras everywhere, and there's only cameras on street corners, and for the most part in downtowns and in the poor areas. If you go to rich areas, there's no cameras on the fucking poles. Yeah, you might have doorbell cameras, but that's the whole reason they push that, and they use rappers too to promote violence. And I think that whole fucking, I don't know. And some of these interviewers too that interview rappers, they be setting them up, man. Like, these rappers just tell on themselves, and then they write a whole song. I call it what do you call that? A statement. People be writing statement raps. They just be telling on themselves, and the feds are listening like, yeah, this song's tough. We're about to indict this guy. Just building cases. But hip hop is definitely a weapon, man, for the most part. When you got so-called white kids coming from the fucking suburbs to go to the poor areas, you know that shit's brainwashing. I've had friends that were like that. They grew up in Berlin, Connecticut. Families had money, fucking skateboarding, and they would come to the poor areas to chill. They were cool and everything, but I'm like, man, you guys want to come here. You got money, your family's well off, and you're doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? Chilling in the hood, wanting to sell drugs when you don't need to. It's like, be yourself. Go fucking do something with your life. We're trying to get out of here, and people think it's cool to live there. It's like a fashion or something. I don't know, man. But yeah, that white and black shit is so old. I'm so tired of it. I know. I mean, it does have an effect because they promote in hip hop these styles and stuff. I'm just waiting for a channel to come out and admit that these fucking ideological lodges lied to their people and told them they're from Africa when they knew the truth, but they kept it to themselves. But it's still confusing because the New York lodges, they know what's up. They know their tribes and stuff, so. And same thing with down south in like Louisiana and stuff. They know their tribes. Same thing in California. When I first seen the Crip walking, I said, holy shit. But anyway, it gets me fired up when these people come on here and try to be like, white people don't have no culture. They come from the caves with the furry animals. That shit's hilarious, man. Some guy left in my comments on the video I did. He said that my people enslaved his people. I'm thinking, you got the wrong person, bro, because I was born in 81, so I don't know about any of that.
How's it going?
There's a lot of what's up, Max? There's a lot of people out there that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, did they read all our encyclopedias?
I agree the Aboriginals had tribes here and stuff, but as far as this whole realm being nothing but black people, I don't see that at all. Because I find paintings from the 1500s that have people that are so-called white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, there's black people in the fucking photo, and you could tell that one person's African and the other black person looks Aboriginal, whatever you want to call it. There's all sorts of people, and then you got the guy from India or Pakistan was laying down, and there's a black woman and a white woman kissing on him. I mean, that goes to tell me that what you see has always been like this. It's just the fucking government and their psychological war where they plant this bullshit into people's heads. And they do that to people that have power, like, or people look up to a person, they'll use that as a tool. They'll fill that person's head with bullshit and create a cultish fucking, anyway.
Sure, they gave us all our cultures back in the 1880s with the World's Fairs, right? They told us what we were all like and how you behave in this country and how you behave in that country, and
right.
who lives here.
They
and
told
there.
us who we are. Isn't that funny, man? I always thought that was a problem. This is who you are.
So is it all programming, or is any of it natural?
Probably all programming. That's why nobody knows who they truly are. We don't know who we truly are, where we are, right? We don't even know what the sun and moon truly is, or the stars. You know what I was thinking? That we could be inside of a bell. It's a bell shaped.
Sure.
Yeah. When you ring a bell, the stars look like they're vibrating, like a continuous ring of a bell. And look at the craft they built. It was shaped like a bell. What was it called? The
bell. I think it was just called the Glock. Yeah, the bell.
That's what it was called?
Yeah,
you know what
Glock.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was called the Glock or something.
The Germans built it.
Yeah, but it means the bell.
Why are the Germans so hated, man? It's all I hear is negative shit all the time about German people. Who are Germans? What the fuck? Are we a German?
Well, Rome had a hard time with the Germans. They had a real hard time.
We fucked them up. We fucked them up like 3 times.
They had a hard time with the Scottish, hard times with the Germans. So,
Because we fuck shit up. We don't play.
They don't like independent people. They like people that will come under the rule of Rome and pay their taxes and, do what they're told. Step outside the lines, then Rome comes down on you. It's the same today, really. You step out of line, saying the wrong thing, go in the wrong place, they'll come down on you.
Bell bottoms. My mother used to wear bell bottoms. That's funny to see. Huh.
And boot wearing people, yeah. Yeah, they gave us those too, eh? Who was it who made their outfits? It was like a famous designer made all the Nazi outfits. Okay? Ralph Lauren or something.
I like the Nazi uniforms.
Yeah, they were pretty sharp. Yeah. Those were all designer made. Yeah.
I think Hitler was handpicked way before, like, they give us the heroes and the villains, and I think he was handpicked by a lodge because he's a good talker.
Yeah, he was a hero for a long time, but just like everybody else who wanted to make their own money, he had to go down because he tried to make his own money.
Did he go down?
Yeah.
Or did they give him an ultimatum?
There's a lot of evidence says he went to
Antarctica.
Argentina. No, Argentina.
Well, yes, South America, and then over the strait there. The
yeah.
What is it called?
They actually live in Antarctica or just work there? I don't know. Who knows?
I think there's a way out of here. That's just my opinion. Because if you look in the almanac, This guy, our encyclopedia is from 1800s. This guy, or not even that old. I forgot what year it was, man. It was like 19. It was before the Antarctic Treaty. And the guy was shown he had some old encyclopedias, and he opened it up to, and I think it was Antarctica or something. And it mentioned the wall, the firmament, and how high it went. And then it said, I'm gonna find that video so I could play it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very interesting how all of a sudden after the Antarctic Treaty, and that's still around the time that birth certificates came into play, the Antarctic Treaty. It feels like it's starting all over. You know, they want to do digital IDs. They just want to control everyone. They could go fuck themselves. I just want to be. I don't even want to use the word free, man. I just want to be left alone. Don't tell me what to fucking do. I don't kill people. I don't fucking. But I'll kill you. But I don't kill people. But I'll kill someone if they try to fucking kill me. The government got their hand in everything, and I think it's time we start chopping hands off.
Well, maybe we could pass around the mark of Cain on a few of these people, eh?
Well, we don't need to get digital IDs. We just tell them, fuck you, man. Just like they did in Europe. 1.5 million people told them to go fuck themselves. That's a big amount. But there's always going to be the weak that'll fold and go do it.
Yeah, it's a little rushed right now, but they'll get some people, yeah.
I'm not doing no digital IDs, no censoring. I'm not getting no vaccines. None of that shit. I don't want to vote for none of these bums. And, I don't know. I wonder what happened to all the warriors growing up. I wonder where they are. Probably dead or in fucking prison.
All the warriors you talking about, they paying bills right now. In the Matrix.
It would be nice if my voice was louder, you know, if people were attracted. I'm gonna start writing speeches like Shitler did. I would just like it to it'd be kind of like kicking the government in the balls without doing it physically. But even this system is so hypocritical, man. We're being conned in this institution. What constitution? And like Dom said yesterday, it's sad when people be like, I know my rights. Like, what? Wait a minute. Only a slave says I know my rights. And when slaves are mentioned, I don't know. I think a lot of that shit's made up too, man. A lot of this history. Everything in history is fake except the slave part. Isn't that odd? Or the Bible, right? They won't question neither of that.
Well, I think all of it was some like events, but you know, the events are written by the victors, right? So they'll have a particular bent on them. These people were bad, these people were good, you know. They always, you know, in recent day, you know, used to be babies were sacrificing to babies to their gods. Now, every time they want to go somewhere, they say they're throwing babies out of incubators. Right?
But what's an incubator? Like, these people are confused with incubators. I was in an incubator when I was born early. Incubators aren't creating babies. Like, what are these people talking about?
I don't know how many babies in incubators they think they have over there, but apparently every war in the modern times that they want to start, people go around throwing babies out of incubators. I don't know. That's just their
Well, they're probably trying to end their bloodline, but
supposed to be the weakest, most feeble creature on the planet, right? A baby in an incubator, and you're so heartless, you'll just throw that baby on the floor and stomp on it. That's what they say about everybody they want to go to war with.
well, I think this incubators was the creation, or they was when the people put together an incubator. And I don't even know what an incubator is fully. Like,
Just
but I
something that
know.
keeps certain conditions. That's all. It just keeps certain
Okay.
conditions,
Yeah, and they're
whatever those
saying
conditions are.
they didn't say a synthetic womb. They said an incubator is where the incubator babies. Like
Yeah.
they're just molding their own story into it, and it's like, do you even know what an incubator is? I'm gonna ask these people because they don't. They should. It's simple to Google it or look at the patent for it, like I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a
Well, it
lot of
doesn't.
these stories, man, people say anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think
You know,
the
the point
Underground
of it is
Railroad.
just that throughout time they used babies as the catalyst. You know, like in Iraq, they used it. They used it in Gaza. They used it everywhere, pretty much in modern times. Oh yeah,
I
and
think the
Ukraine.
Underground Railroad is a real railroad.
The Russian soldiers were throwing babies out of incubators. In Iraq, the soldiers were throwing babies out of incubators. It's just their byline they use. Before it was, you know, those guys are sacrificing babies to Molech or whatever. You know?
Yeah, all these court systems are foreign entities, and in reality, people be like, they truly don't hold no weight over you. Yeah, they're gonna lock you up, and they're gonna keep fucking with you, but as long as you don't sign no contracts, and you hope to whoever you pray to, that they don't fake your signature. But other than that, it's all foreign entities. Everything's foreign. People are always worried about some terrorists. Look, the terrorists are telling you the terrorists are in other countries. America's already been fucking taken over. The ultimate Trojan horse. They didn't use a bullet, a bomb, nothing. They just came to the country, studied for politics, got in, and boom. They took the whole fucking country over. Simple as that. They didn't need a weapon in sight. The only weapon was their mind. That's all they needed.
Well, when did we own the country? Right?
Never.
Right.
And the Constitution we have isn't the first Constitution. The original Constitution allegedly was the tribes that were already here. And these cities, I look at old pictures in the 1800s, and there's thousands of so-called black people, rich. They had nice cars, suits, top hats. They had their own money going, all types of shit. To me, I think that's what the Civil War was about, man. It was a war between the people who were here and the people who wanted this place to control it. It's always about resources. I personally don't think it has anything to do with the color of the flesh or the tone of it. I think it has to do with just being in power and control. These people are control freaks. And they need to get their jaw smashed into 7 pieces so then they could slowly start to learn.
They've been doing this for a long time. I don't think they want to change.
No, like they force stuff on us, we could force change on them. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Maybe they need some social engineering. Eh?
I was just watching that kid or young man who got plastiline, where he turned plastic into gasoline. Salute to that young man.
Oh yeah.
He's still a pit bull came. He lives somewhere, but he
Yeah.
lives in like a rural area where there's really no people in the woods, where he has his stuff set up. And he said a pit bull, a nice dog, came out of nowhere, and he calls the dog Pyro. It's a nice looking pit bull.
Yeah.
I said, that dog was sent to you by the gods. But I hope that young man, they protect him, because whenever people put together stuff like that, unfortunately, bad stuff happens, man. And I'm just sick and tired of hearing that broken record. You know, America's supposed to be a place where we're free to do what we want, except rape, kill, you know, or steal, stuff like that. You know,
We have freedom of movement. We do have a lot of freedom in many ways, but
yeah, but they're tightening that noose on the neck, and
yeah, it's a little too much freedom for them, you know.
Trump is going to seal the deal with a lot of things, man, and I don't know.
Is it Trump or is it the Club of Three or the Council of 300? What is it, Council or Club?
Yeah, it's all of them. Trump's just a spokesperson. That's it. He's a nobody. Yeah, he's got some money, but the real people with money got whatever's after trillion. I don't know, but they got unlimited amounts of money.
He'll make some small decisions to try to keep the people happy. You know, at least half of them. In the next cycle, he'll make the other half happy.
In the back. He stabbed them all in the back. He didn't do anything he said he was going to do. Again, just like the first go around, just like the last 70 presidents, not that many, but at least the last 6, I can say, in my lifetime.
All his job is to stop us from turning over the system. That's all his job is, really.
Oh, we were about to, and then Trump stepped in, and everyone was sucking his dick.
Oh yeah, same here. We suddenly had this magnificent man come out of nowhere, Mark Carney, going to save our country, and everybody went yay. And then you know what he did? He turned around and started screwing us.
I guess at that point,
we're looking for the next savior.
I guess at that point, Max, it depends who is reading the script to. Save our country. If I'm actually talking to only a small amount of people out there, I would be saying a statement correctly. People assume, because they hear it on the media, that particular, and we'll call him Carney from Canada, he's talking to the citizens. No, he's talking past the citizens.
Oh, he doesn't care about us.
Why would he? Why would he? You know, if I'm running $1 billion corporation, I'm caring about, my stockholders, let alone, the people that are buying my products. Yeah. That's the cruel reality of business.
Commerce is the only thing that really matters to them.
For most of us, whether we know it or not, how would all this technology come to be if we didn't consume technology?
Right.
We wouldn't be driving a car. We wouldn't, and then you break it down. Then it's a different type of car that you like, a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, a Mercedes. Again, that's how you divide and conquer. Not to say that's a bad thing. It's just divide and conquer.
No, that's a good thing, actually.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be, but at the expense that maybe we're putting things in the environment that could be harmful to us, let alone others. Again, if we live long enough in these suits, we might address those things. But because we only live, for most people, 60, 70, 80 years, and even on the back end, most people are just trying to survive, whether financially or physically.
Very few people at age 15 think they're going to live to 80, you know. So.
Mm-hmm. Unless you lived in communities, which a lot of communities aren't anymore, and you do see your elderlies, you know, they start being sick or they start living healthy, because then you have to take both sides. Okay, why are you sick? Why are you healthy? What did you do or didn't do, physically or mentally or emotionally? You know, it'd be different if we lived around centurions. Then we could ask questions. Okay, so that one person still smoked past 100. You're a rarity. But the rest of you guys are eating healthy. You don't worry about things. You're not in air pollution of any kind. A lot of us live in air pollution, whether it's noise pollution or just thoughts. If people are concerned about that. But for most people, they're not. They're just concerned about the cultures that they live in. You know, it'd be different if we were talking about all the different cultures. So let's talk about what India is doing with their class system, or Asia. I get it, we can talk about Canada and America, but even that, we're only talking about pockets.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, me and you would be a different conversation.
Now you're becoming a globalist on me there.
It is. It always has been. The divide and conquer was to become nationalists. But again, at that point, if me and you, Max, didn't live in Ontario and say that we lived in the Northwest Territory, we would be talking about other things to deal with. A watermelon would be a treat for most people. You know, so again, even among the Americans,
for me, because I won't eat them unless there's black seeds in it.
Sure.
Hard to find up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't found any down here.
No.
When cultures move, when you move from another country, like say Africa or Europe, and then you move to another culture, a lot of those foods are meant for those areas. Now, a person could turn around and say, yeah, but I eat African foods in North America. I said, okay, but the time will test all of that, meaning that when you're 78 years old, we'll know whether or not was that healthy for you to eat those types of food out of seasons, out of country. We haven't tapped on all that kind of stuff. Well,
I remember them days when cherries were seasonal, when fruit was actually seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a treat. Now it's all year round. People have forgot. It's supposed to be seasonal, a lot of this stuff.
Same with animals. You know, to be a farmer or a hunter, to honor the animal, you know, and raising it, it doesn't need to know that it's going to die tomorrow. You know, this is why you do, like, you know, they call it halal or whatever. It's an honorable way of doing it. But today, what ends up happening, big corporations.
What is halal? It's not how America just violently kills the animal.
That plays a part in it.
How they do it.
That plays a part in it.
Yeah, they want to violently because it does something with the blood and the meat. But halal, I forgot how they kill it.
Same way.
No, it's different. It don't release that stuff into the I forgot what it's called, but they don't slit its neck and let it bleed out in pain. I don't know how they do it. I forgot.
They do it the same. They cheat. They do it the same way, but it's
that's so true.
It's I don't know, inspected by a halal licensed person. That's basically it.
Yeah, but they're not actually practicing it. It's like, you know, some cultures still practice. What do you do with the body when it dies?
Do you know how many halal chickens there are out there every day that are getting killed? They don't have enough priests for that.
No, they probably have stamps on them, and they say halal. No different. They stamp something. They say it's organic.
A rubber stamp. Yeah.
Yeah, but we consume it. Whether or not we actually, some people do. They do their research and realize, okay, do I drink water out of a plastic bottle? Do I go back to glass? Do I eat my animals on a Tuesday or a Monday? You know, again, a lot of this, there is science to it, but for a lot of people, we don't really investigate that. And even that, even if you do investigate it, are you around other people that practice it still? Practice makes perfect, the old saying goes, but you can talk about it too. You know, that's why oral speech plays a role. Written work, it's a little bit lesser, but actually seeing people practice it so you can ask questions. This is how traditions either die or people follow it aimlessly. You should be able to challenge your forefathers. Why do we do what we do? Or let alone say what we say. But when we start cross-mixing cultures and not at least inquiring about each other's cultures' behaviors, then it becomes confusing. And then we get into this, well, my culture is better than this culture, based on what? And at that point, you're asking questions, you know. But I get it, you know, I piss further than you. Oh, okay, so were you upwind or downwind? Communities have lost touch with their people that are their mystics or shamans or wise folks, whether it's a woman or a man. And then they rely solely on stories that are told to them, and they're not even allowed to question it. A child that's observing their parents practice certain things, how to, you know, kill a chicken or raise a cow, that plays a major role. But for most of us, we're in a sterilized world where basically you work in a factory, you see office buildings, you might look at somebody that's rich, but they're not really rich. They're financially rich, but they're not rich. But yet they want to perpetuate the materialism, but not understanding how does it work. You know, why is one hemisphere different than another hemisphere? You know, why do cultures like India have the types of teachings they have? Same in America. America's just a melting pot. There's really no true culture there quite yet. The ones that do it is because they're basing it on other people that have migrated there. Same in Canada. You know, most of these countries are developed based on wars. You know, you have the British Empire running both America and Canada still.
Hold on, I say A. That's my culture.
A. Okay, well, yeah, A. Beer. Canadian beer.
Yep. Beer, hockey, maple syrup.
Jay Heighton said, sometimes I need to stop listening to Dom laugh out loud, especially when he says, but you are still doing it. You are still using it, because I'm the kind of person that will stop and throw everything away.
Sweet. You know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know, if a person already comes into a conversation, they know what's best for them, then you're just showing respect to another person by hearing them. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. That's their responsibility. If they want to put it into practice, all the power to you. And then there's other people, they do the practice, but they don't want to have to explain things. It's always nice to hear the person that practices it and also talks about it. Because if not, we're plug and play at this point. Okay, we're just using Wi-Fi. We don't understand how it came to be. Well, Don, that's of no concern to me. Okay, so then it should be of no concern how the governments are run or not run. At that point, that classroom should be very limited to the few that want to inquire about it. The rest of them, fuck, there's other classrooms you can go to. And if you don't like going to school and practicing those things, go play sports. Go to the music industry. Go smoking in the smoking area. Go do fucking weed in the back of the shop class. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm using the word want because those aren't needed. And hopefully they'll learn something from it. Yeah, Dom, I learned something. I raised a couple of kids in my lifetime. So what did you come to the awareness? I was a child raising a child. Okay, well done. At least you're honest with yourself. It's usually the parent that says, oh, I raised my kid. I said, did you teach him how to breathe? Well, not really. So you really haven't done the most important things, have you? Yeah, but I went to work. I said, so you were a slave to fiat currency. So what's your point? Yeah, but I bought a lot of stuff for it. Did you buy a cottage? Did you buy a house? Did you make any of those things? Well, not really. I said, so if you ever met a man that says, I built a house out of my bare hand, I said, that's a man. The rest of us are fucking pretending to be men. And I'm okay with throwing myself under the bus, but it's my bus that I'm throwing under.
Are you throwing yourself under the bus, or are you getting ran up?
Yeah, I'm throwing it. I'm driving it. I'm hovering over it. I'm fucking being amused by it. I'm actually throwing some roadkill. So that's me. And I'm okay with that. Anybody else say, listen, Dom, I want to pick a fight with you. I said, pick a number. You're in the thousands already at that point because I'm fucking way ahead of myself. Now, that might sound condescending, but I'm okay with that.
Ha! Got him.
You got me. That's it. Figured me out. I'm figured out. I'm done.
No, not you.
Oh, but I want to be figured out. Because to figure me out would imply that you figured yourself out. And at that point, why aren't you in your own lane? You know, it's always fun when I hear people say, yeah, I want to come to your kingdom. I say, well, who's protecting your kingdom? Well, I don't know. I said, so then why are you at my place? Fucking, you want to drink all my beer? No problem. Tell me when you're done. As long as you're in that meat suit, you're having fun with yourself. Now, I could change the word at divine fucking temple. I just use the word because I want to see how people emotionally get disturbed. It's a meat suit.
We're the divine temple.
It could be. I'm willing to entertain that ideal, Charles. No different. I entertain the ideal of saying it's a meat suit. This
Temples
works.
are destructible, just like the flesh temple is destructible.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to leave this temple, just like you leave the brick temple.
Mm-hmm. And if people value the concept, once I no longer am alive, that's where I end. Okay, good enough. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have TVs then, and to inspire the imagination. We would be, listen, farmers, hunters, yeah, there's a horse, there's a cow, there's a chicken. No, we don't want TVs here. We don't want any cars here. We don't want any buildings here. We just want temples and fucking huts. Okay, no problem. Play with the material as much as you want. But once you start getting into technology, in this case, a different type of technology, because the sun and the moon could be technology in a different way, we got to play the game. I like my TVs. I know what it can and cannot do for me. Same with the car. I know what it can and cannot do for me. I'm grounded that way. Where other people, they might turn around and say, yeah, but it's wrong to have a car. Okay. So how are you going to convince not the billion Christians and Muslims out there, but probably the billions, more than billions, probably 3 or 4 billion people that drive cars? What about the billions that have a microwave? It's wasted energy at that point. You're better off trying to convince yourself or try to recondition yourself. You know, we're using a technology none here has created, let alone understand all the, you know, the combinations that we would have to do. Now, that might be me arrogant thinking that nobody else can figure that out. But even if they did, fuck, I just met an alien. How would any of you guys figure that out? I don't know, Don. Okay, well, that alien told me it's the one that gave us what's called Wi-Fi.
I'm just user number 3847.
That's a good number, by the way, Max.
Yeah.
You're not the programmer 241, but
No.
you're the user. Okay, that's good. You know, even guys that are in clubs, regardless of what type of club it is, okay? Those are small, meaning that the degrees that they get are small. You know, language in itself, all its different way of using it is its own modalities or degrees. My senses are different degrees. So now if you want to join a club, I don't care if it's Rosicrucians, Skull and Bones, Masonry, it could be the Club of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Those are just clubs. Most of us, we're forming a club by being here. And then people do shit like subscribe to my channel, but yet I don't value religion or state. That's cult-like behavior, especially when you have a company like YouTube, Google. That is their purpose, to gather information. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is what it is. But once you have that moment and say, yeah, so why am I putting so much emphasis in trying to subscribe? And then they got people singing like a jingle. Subscribe, click likes, and leave a message. Give me emoji. Okay. So when you go to church, bend your knee down, go to the pew, put out your hand, and they'll give you a little chip. And maybe you can drink some pretend wine. It's religion all over again.
I'm just in a fringe cult run by the oligarchs.
Could be, or it could be manipulated by them, and we do it to ourselves by certain groups saying, "Okay, I'm going to run it for the oligarch." You know, I get it.
You think you are?
That's all we can do. You know, I do electrical work, and studying on how electrical lining your whole house with electricity does things to you. Am I still going to do electrical work? Yeah, of course I am. Because as long as everybody in the crazy house, or most people in the crazy house, are taking their pills, I don't give a shit what color it is, and you're going to a grocery store, I got to participate in it. That's why it's called awareness. It's not about proving, well, it's right or wrong. It's awareness. If a person truly is thinking, I don't agree with it, I said, then why are you still here? What do you mean? Go take your chance outside of civilization.
Do you vote, Dom? Do you vote?
I voted when I was 18 years old once.
Yeah.
I thought I needed to put an X somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, me not voting now gave me the wonderful world of seeing it from many different possibilities. Same with, am I a Catholic anymore? No, I'm not. I did my investigation. I found human behaviors involved in it. I made a promise to myself. I'm no longer going to convert myself in different cults. I'll observe them. So for me to read the Bhagavad Gita, which is a teaching, or the Buddhism, or the Quran, or the Jewish, the Torah, those are just fun. Same with if I want to learn about capitalism, or communism, or Marxism. I'm taking it from the position, I'm a fly on the wall, and I take that information. But I'm not actually trying to say, listen, I'm going to try to prove a point with this. We already have people that try to prove points. It's called books. It's called podcast. And I enjoy hearing people have podcasts, and I take it with a grain of salt. It's an interesting story. Oh, you're going to tell me you sold 1 million books. Okay, so you just convinced me that, that 1 million people have been conditioned to buy books? That's not a no-brainer. People sell fucking Spider-Man books. So what's your point? Or Mad books. And I guess the question would be back to you, Max. Have you voted before, or do you still vote?
I have voted occasionally.
And was it a flip of a coin? Say, okay, red for this team, blue for that team, maybe the block one next time. I say that jokingly because, who am I really voting for? People come knocking on my door like Jehovah's Witness. Can I count on your vote? I said, okay, who are you representing? Well, I'm representing this person. Okay, so do you know them personally? Well, not really. I said, so you're asking me to aimlessly give you an X. I already got an X when I work in construction. It's on the back of me. Yeah. But yet you want me to vote. But come on in. Let's have a tea. Let's have a coffee. Chit-chat. Get to know a little bit about you.
Oh, we've got our Trump figure coming up. It's, what's his name? Polyev. Yeah, he's our Trump figure.
He could be, but most of them, like some people say, they're puppets. You just got to find the strings and realize, okay, so am I to rely on the fact that the Prime Minister of Canada has any type of authority?
Well, that's why I said figure. He's not really a leader, in my opinion.
No, he's not. Again, even in Canada, we have the Governor General that can easily over-Trump him at any given moment. Yeah. And then you put this shell game. You have the Senate. You have the Senate lead or whatever. These are the type of conversation to do, and that's a shell game. Because once you start following, they say, well, you don't have power. You don't have power. You don't have power. And then you start going to the United Nations. I said, okay, so you guys are making documents, and then these people have to enforce it. And none of these people are truly voted in. They're selected.
Yeah.
That's a 101 at that point. But for a lot of people, they want to use their imagination, which is fine, to defend it. So, well, no, that's not how the governments work. I said, well, I told you my story. I want to hear your story. How do you think the governments work? And while you're there, try to figure out how the state and city work, let alone how federal works, let alone provincial. Well, that's just too much information, but you'll defend a position. Wow. So now we're back to there's a heaven and hell. Where is this heaven and hell? That's like science saying that Pluto's made out of this property. How do you know that? Well, we use these things. We use the microscope, or no, we use the telescope. Okay, so did anybody ever go up there and come back down? Well, no. I said, so you're speculating. There's no way you can say that's empirical evidence. Empirical evidence is when you actually touch something here on Earth, and then you give a language to it. We'll call this sand. Oh, look at caveman. We'll call this rock. We'll call this a car. Really? So where's language again? I'm just curious. Where's language again? I don't know, Dom. I said, there you are. You're humble enough to say you don't know. So all the other stuff that you talked about, you're full of fucking shit.
Hold on real quick. Hold on. Let me ask you something real quick. I'm
not interested in talking to you, Truth Zone, at all.
Let me ask Max. Man, you keep talking and talking, man. Shut your ass up, man. You've been talking for an hour straight saying a whole lot of nothing. Just talking and talking, not saying shit. Then you just talk and talk without saying no context of what you're saying. You can't elaborate on what you're saying. You just talk and talk, saying a whole lot of gibberish. Now, you sit here and you convey to these fellas that could be speculation too. You saying that motherfuckers is voting, motherfuckers is elected, not elected. That could be speculation. Can you prove that these people are selected? Can you prove it right now? I bet you can. Prove it right now.
I thought you were talking to Max.
Prove it right now. Exactly. You can't. You just talking.
The UN is selected by our governing body.
On a local level, somebody people actually vote on a local level. As far as like people putting people appointing district people that work for the fucking school system and appointing like mayors and shit, the vote might count. But like as far as like putting presidents in, no, that's bullshit. I feel like they might be selected, but I ain't got no proof of that shit.
It's like getting a job. They look at the applications. Who would be better to fit the position?
And this guy right here, he likes to just
Am
talk
I
and talk
muted?
and talk. And nobody ain't gonna sit up here and question this guy. That's what he likes. Man, I'm gonna question everything you say. Nobody, you like a space to where you'll never hit my panel. I know somebody like you would never hit my panel because you'll get questioned over there. Over here in other places you go, like your little weasel, nobody gonna question.
Have you ever really reflected? You told me you don't want me on your panel, and at the same time,
Because
you
you're
want
a
nothing to do.
weasel, and I'm gonna
That may
question you.
be
If
true.
you come to my
That
panel,
may be true. But
if
why
you
don't you
come to
learn
my
to
panel, I'm
shut
gonna
the fuck
embarrass
up?
you.
You're
I'm
useless
gonna question
fucking
everything you
self.
say, pussy.
You should have
I'm
been
gonna question
swallowed.
everything you
You
say,
could
bitch.
have been swallowed.
I'm gonna say everything. I'm gonna question everything you say, bitch.
No, but
You
you want
old
nothing
piece
to
of
do
shit.
with me. You insult me, but then you want to have a
You old
conversation.
piece of shit.
Are you
You
a
a
narcissist?
delusional old fart.
Are you
You a
an
delusional old fart.
insecure
Everything you say is
man?
malarkey.
Are you an insecure man?
Everything you an insecure man. You an insecure old piece of shit.
I'm asking you. Can you answer your question? You're the one that always wants answers.
You an insecure old piece. I don't like you, bro. You a fucking weasel. That's why. You don't have no integrity. That's why I don't like you. You a
Me.
bitch.
That's nice. You
When
get short.
you get up here and you talk a bunch of dumb shit that don't make sense to nobody. You don't elaborate on nothing you say. You don't like being questioned because all that shit you say is dumb.
You know what?
That's why nobody, bro. That's why what's his name, Willis McCoy got on your ass. It's like, bro, why you up here saying all this shit, but you can't elaborate on it? And then somebody goes to ask you a question. Hey man, can you expound on what you're saying? You
I'm gonna say
can't.
something.
You can't.
You're
You
racist. You
can't
just don't know it yet. You're racist. You just don't
because
know it
you're
yet.
retarded.
Okay, I'm retarded. I'm
Yeah, I'm
okay.
racist against dumb pieces of shit like you. Yeah, you're right.
Shit. I'm
I'm racist towards dumb pieces of shit like you.
I've answered all your questions now. Are we
You
done?
think just because you white means right. No, white means dumb, motherfucker. You dumb.
See, there you go. There's another racist.
You make the white race look bad. You make the white race look like a bunch of idiots.
Racist? Do people know that you're racist towards
You
your
say
own
what?
humans? Are you?
What?
What?
You
That's
fucking
exactly
idiot. You fucking cuck. That's what what's his name told me you was a cuck. What's his name? Cage Reality. He said he came in your house. You a weirdo. You a
You're
fucking
bringing
cuck.
in other people. Why? Why don't you stand for yourself?
Because you a fucking cuck. You a weirdo.
Okay, I'm a weirdo then. Good for
You
you.
an old piece of shit weirdo.
There you go. So this is what you want. You want to throw these kind of verbiage at people.
Yeah, I'm doing it. What you gonna do about it, pussy?
I'm not going to do nothing about it.
I know you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You gonna mute your mic. You gonna back up, mute your mic, and shut the fuck up.
This is the reason why I don't have conversations with you. There's that
I don't want to have a fucking conversation with you. What?
Little laugh.
What are we arguing about?
Nothing.
Now I'm trolling him, man. I ain't arguing with him, bro. I'm trolling him, man. I'm moving up now. You got it, man.
Yeah, you're insincere when you do it too, by the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think you're pre-selected.
You're still racist.
You said what?
You're still racist.
I said I think they're pre-selected. It's like a job application. You know, they want the best sheep to fit the job. You know, who's gonna do what they're told, or who's good at lying and telling the people what they want to hear, like Trump and Bush and even Obama. Obama was just a talker, man. They want people who's gonna basically just keep the people happy by telling them what they want to hear. That's basically people all they need to hear, right?
Man, it's the same thing with this YouTube with these old niggas, bro. They tell it's a pimping whole game. They telling everybody what they want to hear. None of that shit they can actually prove. They just telling you what you want to hear because it sound good. Oh yeah, man, you the meat suit, man. Yeah, we are. Yeah, the meat suit. We're eternal beings, man. Yeah, man. I meditated last night, man. I went to planet Neptune and came back with all the knowledge. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what these motherfuckers do right here. They just like these politicians. They ain't no better. It's pimping hoes.
Atlas 31, man. They're trying to say it's an alien mothership. I've heard it all, man. I've seen videos where people say that's the return of the Anunnaki. Then some say it's it's the black people coming back to get their ancestors. Some say it's Jesus coming. Most say it's aliens. I mean, I don't even think the fucking thing exists. Just like a lot of other things that were fake and phony on the stage. You know, Trump shooting, then Charlie Kirkland, the Kirkinator, all that fake ass shit. Like, people just continuously fall for the same shit. All these politicians do is dangle a carrot, and people just keep running after it, filled with hope, that hopium. One day I'm gonna get that carrot, man. I just gotta keep hoping. One day Jesus is gonna finger me in my ass. No, I'm joking. I know I'm gonna hear an earful for that. Well, you just be my savior, man. That's why people think I'm a Satanist, because I joke about Jesus and stuff. Well, fuck Satan too.
All right.
They're
Somebody
just
will
hypocrites.
hate you, bro. Listen, bro. It's the same thing with these guys, with their doctrine, with their spiritual doctrine. When you go against their doctrine, they'll call you, they'll say you're an NPC. A Christian will say, if you go against that doctrine, they'll call you a sinner. It's the same shit, bro. Who's better? Nobody's better, right? But one of these so-called
Right.
woke, conscious, spiritual motherfuckers, like I said, they'll say, man, you're an NPC, you a bot. If you don't agree with their doctrine, with their pseudo doctrine. Same thing with a Christian.
I don't think Dom is like speaking a doctrine. He's just speaking how he sees things. He's not really. I don't think he's trying to like convince
That's a
anyone.
doctrine he's speaking, bro. He is, bro. That's a doctrine he's speaking, bro. That's a whole ideology doctrine. I can hear it, bro.
We all got our beliefs. You know, we all believe what we believe. You know,
He's trying to sell me something like what? He's trying to sell me something. He's trying to sell me an ideology. That's
You
bullshit.
think Dom's like a David Koresh?
I don't know what he is, bro. I don't know what he is trying to sell, because I be seeing him go from channel to channel, leaving those little videos in the comments, and those videos are spiritual videos. Like, bro, that's just bullshit, bro. How can you prove any of that shit? Like, you trying to sell me a religion? It's like you fucking, what's his name? It's like you, what's it called? Jehovah's Witness going door to door trying to sell a religion. So he going channel to channel, panel to panel, trying to sell. Yeah, he's like Jehovah's Witness. He going panel to panel, door to door, trying to sell a religion, a belief, a doctrine.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you don't get your ass off. Like, bro, you don't get off my goddamn my front doorstep with that bullshit, with that nonsense. I got bills to pay, pussy. Get out of here.
Jehovah's Witnesses, man, they be cutting corners. I see them standing out there. If they were real preachers of this their God, they would talk to anyone, but they don't. They pick and choose who they want to talk to. You know, you're supposed to, you know. You ever see the Christian channel and the Muslim ones where they go around talking to people and stuff and telling them that we're in the end days? You know how long I've been hearing we're in the end days?
Listen,
30 years.
I agree with that. And that's all bullshit. That's what these guys do. That's what they instead of saying, hey man, we in the end of days, they'll tell you, hey man, go within, meditate till the day you leave your meat suit. It's the same shit, bro. It's just remixed. I'm telling you, man. Oh, I'm telling you, bro. It's the same shit over.
The remix.
They just remixing all this. It's all be everything. All these concepts.
When you said that, I thought of Puff Daddy for some reason. The ultimate remixer.
Yeah, man. Somebody told me one day, man, it's the end of times. Repent. What you mean? How the fuck you know it's the end of times, bro? The end of time. You know what the end of time it is? When you go to work and you punch out and you leave. When you leave work, that's the end of time. The time is up at your job.
What does repent mean? What does pent mean? Because re means to do something again. So what's pent? Repent? Some of these words we use are, yeah, I don't know what a pent is, but they're doing a pent again. Maybe it's repentagram? Penthouse?
Yeah, I don't get the whole meaning of you gotta repent and beg for forgiveness. That would be just taking accountability. You don't have. Why would you have to beg for forgiveness? That means you just take accountability for what you feel like you've done wrong. Right,
People want God to forgive them, but they don't even forgive themselves.
Right,
fucking up. That's odd. You know, an outlet, a plug outlet. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you something. Son, watch this. I don't know why I
I
thought
should
of
be
this.
thinking about that.
Look, you got your plug, right? You're in, you're out, and you're ground. All right. Watch this. Bing bong. You got Polaris. You got your in and your out. The sun and moon. Anyway.
We're in a twin system with series too, so you have to add series in there.
Somehow I could add all the stars in the background, but I don't know how I could do that. I wonder what these towers were to the right there. I found so many pictures that had them towers on the right. But those were maybe like the towers we have now, but they look like that. Even the towers they used were designed to look beautiful, right? Everything they touched was was created to uplift you. You know, when you stare at it, it's like a work of art that makes you feel good. The stuff we have now is just all prison mind state. It's just bland and square and boring, and it makes sense when someone told me a square room traps your energy, and just the energy gets trapped in there and it just presses down on you. And it kind of makes sense, like it's not letting the energy flow. That's why all the roofs used to be pitched into a triangle or circle to a point. It was to keep the energy flowing. But everything is like a fucking prison, man. And it don't have to be, but sometimes if you don't know better, then you're stuck in that mindset till someone comes along and shows you the way. The Grove Society, thanks, Dom. Forgive. The Grove Society in California. It is proven fact that they select presidents voting in this a ritual to appease the people, and they keep them pacified.
Yeah.
I knew Trump was a joke. Look, the first go around, and then people are like, "We need Trump. We need Trump." I'm thinking, I don't know. Even people that said they don't choose a side chose Trump. Like, especially some rappers. I wonder how much they're getting paid to promote Trump. Tom McDonald, no disrespect to him. I listen to his music now and then. I respect him, even though I don't know him, but he said he don't pick a side. Then all of a sudden, he's fucking backing Trump, and I'm like, damn. A lot of channels that allegedly don't pick a side, and I'm not part of either party, were fucking on Trump's meat. I thought they were about to eat a salami sandwich.
Well, we do have some sway. Like, they take our opinion to account a little bit, but
I'm trying to think. Blumenthal. What a scumbag that guy is. He was in Connecticut politics. Blumenthal. I remember that name. Forgot his first name, but I know the Blumenthal. Man, that guy's a fucking money laundering scumbag. Him. Damn, there's so many people in Connecticut that are tied in with Tilcon, and Tilcon it's in New Britain, but they have asphalt plants all over the place. Bristol, Hartford, West
Yeah.
Hartford. There's asphalt plants in all these quarries. There's tons of quarries. That's another thing I want to get into, quarries. What the fuck are they quarrying? I bet you these quarries used to be a castle or a ley line or some sort of grid. We gotta check these mountain ranges out. I bet you these mountain ranges are on a ley line or something.
We got a lot of gravel pits up here.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. I'm gonna go by
Turning it
Tilcon's
all
up
into
the road.
gravel.
Guess the name of the road Tilcon's on?
What's that?
Black Rock Ave.
Yeah.
I live right across the street from Black Rock.
Nice.
I'm gonna steal
Maybe,
that
maybe
sign.
some shekels will fall your way, you know.
Shekels. The meaning of the word racist is because they're in a race.
It's interesting, the word shekels, right? It's a Jewish word for money, but it sounds very similar to shackles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shekels
Because money
and
is a shackle.
Right?
Something's happening because it's just weird how Trump posted armed. That's not supposed to be like that either. According to law, right? I think that's so funny. But according to law, it's called, I forgot, hold on. It'll come to me. The comitatus or
Posse comitatus.
Yes, thank you. Posse comitatus.
Yeah.
Is where they're not allowed to put armed military in the streets. They could put military, but now they got armed military, fully fucking suited and booted. I seen the pictures. These dudes are like ready to fuck some shit up, and they got their vehicles out there.
He crossed the Rubicon, did he?
But it's weird how now the government's shutting down, and they got all these armed soldiers. And what's the next power move they're gonna pull? Is they're gonna cause people to have to riot for food? Just imagine they stop the flow of food. They freeze everything on the docks. They turn your water off. They turn electricity off. And they say you either get your ID or you're fucked. You know how many people fold like a pair of deuces? People would be crying, I'm gonna watch my TV.
Well, if people have studied a little bit on what they were doing with the European community when they were trying to merge that, you know, they did the inter-traveling first, and then they went with the one currency. But what they should have done, in theory, would have been the government first. So, again, they're disassembling a lot of governments right now throughout the earth because they're putting something else in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the technology, yeah. Well, artificial intelligence, probably we'll call it artificial intelligence, plays a role, but
that's the new god and the new religion is technology to AI, right?
Yeah,
that old biblical shit is out the books now. I mean, out the picture. It's all the new god is AI. That's what people are gonna worship.
Well, it's technology first. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen the TV series American Gods. It's a good TV series if you haven't seen it. They talk about how they move out the old gods, and then the new gods is technology. So artificial intelligence, you're just talking about what's actually going to be on, the technology. In this case, when they had farming, and then they brought in all kinds of farming tools. Now they're able to put a program on it because it takes so much effort to program humans. And it takes generational to recondition humans. So now if you can get something that we can actually get a program inside of a robotic form to reproduce itself. Think about how a lot of major factories have gone, automotive. So as long as we're walking around with technology, we're going to be followed, we're going to be traced, so, and it's not a paper trail anymore, it's a digital trail. And in that trail, you can change each trail at any given moment. So what they have to do is disassemble an old system. So this is why they're calling it a reset. Like think about a computer. You get a new program into your computer, and once they put enough of the new apps and everybody, then they ask you to reset it. So eventually, when they talk about it, whether we're speculating or not about 2030, they're talking about a reset. And in that reset, a lot of things are going to fall into place. Now, some people will still fight it. Of course, when you're fishing, you throw in a big net, you're going to have some fishes and some little parasites that are going to probably slip through the net. But overall, most people are going to be caught by it. And like you're saying, Charles, if all of a sudden they stop bringing foods through the Panama Canal to bring to the trucks, you're going to see how people will complain in a short period of time, and then they're going to put a credit system. It's okay, if you complain enough, you lose some privileges. Now, people might complain about that too. I said, once again, you'll lose privileges. They've already implemented some of these credit systems throughout the earth. Not throughout, but in some places. And there's people in China that are homeless, so they say. And the reason is because they don't follow under the criteria. They haven't followed certain things, so now they're outcasted in a sense. But you're still living in civilization. You can't go grocery shopping anymore. You can, but you're not going to have any means to pay for your food. And if you steal, they're going to punish, not you as much, they're going to punish the parents or your loved ones for it. You've done something wrong, Dom. So now your wife and your child are going to have to be punished. Now, like we was talking about yesterday, Charles, if you don't have any parents or loved ones, then you're just on your own. And that's fine. And at that point, they'll deal with you quite swiftly. They'll probably duct tape you to a telephone pole upside down, or they'll hang you for a bit, just to be an example. It's okay, we have no problems now, right? That's why when they used to do hangings, they used to bring a whole bunch of people to watch. They had to be forced to watch it and say, we have no problems, do we now? This is what happens to people that don't follow the system. But today...
that thing about being alone, I just want to say, I said Emancipation Proclamation. It's just called the Proclamation. But anyway, go ahead.
What is that?
Wrong.
Charles? Okay.
When I was 16, I signed the proclamation, meaning because my mother, I was making all my own decisions anyway. So in order for me to make my own decisions without needing my mother, you sign the proclamation, or I become an adult at 16, which is a stupid move, but I regretted it years later. I look back. It's kind of like how the courts would get you. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. They pretty much presented that. It's kind of like, yeah, let's get this kid to sign this. I mean, young man, I was still a child, though. I was only 16, but I was getting arrested a lot. It was when I came home from doing my 2 years of the youth. I was still on parole, and I got arrested again. They raided the house, cocaine and shit, and I was being charged as an adult, and I couldn't make I couldn't make decisions. And my mother wouldn't come to court, so my mother wouldn't get arrested. I signed a proclamation, which I could make my own decisions in court, which is terrible, because if you don't know about law and you don't know what the hell they're talking about, you're gonna make a wrong decision. You'll plead guilty to shit you probably could beat in court, like me.
Well, they signed off at that point. Everybody that gets a birth certificate, whether the people are aware of it or not, you signed off that suit that you're wearing belongs to state or religion. So now when parents wonder why is the government allowed to come in and take my kids, I said, you signed off when they were born. It's kind of like when people talk about vaccines. Well, I'm not taking any vaccine. No, you signed off when the child was a child. Now, you could have what's called midwives, but by law, by their policies, not laws, they still have to have somebody giving vaccines to that child. Now, the ones that don't, they live in like a Mormon community. They have their own country, but they have to be able to enforce their own rules.
Or home births, too. They don't get it.
Yeah.
They got me. When my mother... They jabbed me up as a baby.
Well, it's like anything else. When you're in somebody's kingdom, you have to follow the rules. You show respect. Most of us are never going to be able to be in the king's chamber or in their courthouse, but we're still living in that kingdom. And in that kingdom, there's rules to follow. It's just a lot of people have not been taught those rules. You can thank your forefathers for that, because they're too busy disagreeing with the system that they don't understand. So again, once again, that's why people that belong to the military, the body belongs to the military. Anything that comes from a body of water, think about a womb, it's property. But people think for some reason I can fight it. I said, okay, well, what's fighting it? Who you truly are, or that vessel that you're in? You know, it's a big disparity when people have to start thinking about that, and then they'll realize, fuck, I've been in an illusion the whole time. I said, yeah, and you're going to struggle when you become disenchanted from it. You know, we're playing the Wizard of Oz. We're hiding behind a screen. That's what we're literally doing. You know, I'm looking through these eyes. I'm not there. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not there. I'm here. I'm within myself. Now, whether or not Max teaches it or at least shares with other people the concept of astral travel, then what is that then? You know, who am I? My suit's still there. I can have somebody verify, yeah, your body was there the whole time. It was breathing. It started slowing. I said, but I was somewhere else. But that opens up the question, then who am I then? That's a question. Doesn't mean you're going to have an answer for it.
Oh, I don't promote astral traveling, by the way.
My apologies, Max, yeah. You know, we can't throw everything with the baby with the bathwash. If, you know, other people have talked about, you know, monks have talked about it. I was somewhere else. Now, can you do what some people call walk-ins? Could be. You know, we use the word openly, but people just don't put two and two together. You were birthed. You had one birthday. Those other things, you're just celebrating the vessel. Okay, so I'm 60 years old. No, I'm not 60 years old. Actually 61. But I'm not 61. Now, somebody might turn and say, but I am. I said, now you understand indoctrination. You've been indoctrinated to think you're those things. But yet you'll say you question things. Okay. Questioning others, not questioning things. Unless that person knows, yeah, I'm not those things. So you can question, go right ahead. So, no, you're not the suit. No, I'm not the suit. Well, then what are you? I said, now you want to cheat. You want to go to the back of the book? No, you have to start doing deduction of what you think you thought you were, and now you have to deduct it. So then I'm not the suit. Yeah, so when you go to sleep, who runs the body? I don't know. When me and Max and Charles are chit-chatting with each other, who's running the liquids? I don't know. And you just can't use the safe answer by saying, well, it just auto runs by itself. Oh, okay. So it just runs by itself, right? Okay. Yeah. So then how does it misalign itself then? You know, most people eat their foods based on their likes and dislikes. They don't eat it because it's healthy for them. Because if they did, they'd have to realize, okay, should I factor in the colors of days that I should eat my food? Should I be concerned about the sun and the moon? They're not interested in that kind of stuff. Anyway, Charles, Max, I really enjoy it. The Noisemaker's coming back up soon. He's going to do his best, doing whatever he wants. Anyway, so enjoy, guys.
Have a good day, Dom.
Same, Max. Ciao, buddy. Ciao, Charles.
Trump is the lion golden mask. Oh.
I'm going to jump off here at 3 o'clock, I think. But,
all right.
Yeah, thanks, Dom, for coming up, man. I love this background. I was looking up Hades.
It's like Mordor.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in a video game.
Could be. Just need the Eye of Sauron on top there and be pretty much the exact same thing.
The Eye of Rob.
Hey, Charles, you say you staying on to 3 o'clock? Are you 3 o'clock? What you mean, Eastern time?
I mean 3 hours. My bad. I always do that.
No, I'm coming up here to ask a question. Dom, you better run. You see me, you better run. You're running from me. I was going to ask you, what does astral travel mean, Max Vision? What is that?
That means when people go try to see other dimensions and gather information.
See other dimensions and gather
information. I don't agree with that because I don't think you should really do that kind of thing. unless you have like an actual intention or, you know, something you're thinking about. Otherwise, it's just useless mind games.
It's bullshit, right? Who brought up astral travel? Who said that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was Dom,
Who?
but it was just
He brought it up. He gave validity to astral travel, didn't he?
no, that wasn't what he was doing. He was just using it as an example for
It's all bullshit. So see what I'm saying, man? People say,
What's
listen,
up,
though.
Dean?
Think somebody can go to a different dimension, bring back information. This motherfucker go to sleep, wake up, and still dumb.
Well, it's people like Nikola Tesla said that that's where they got their information was from dreams. So,
I wonder what he created when he was messing with frequencies and tones. I bet you when you start messing with frequency and tones, man, I bet you they found out some shit. I bet you could move 80 tons, big ass blocks with certain frequencies. They vibrate. And I think
Motherfuckers
that's what
say
they
they went
figured
to a
out
different,
with bells.
bro.
How do you
What
make a bell?
what crack are these people smoking, bro? What meth are these people smoking? What type of drugs are these people on, man? You said they
astral
went to a
travel
different
is not
dimension.
bullshit.
So
It's
they
just
went to a
whether.
different dimension, got edified, came back, brought it back here.
Yep.
Come on, man. What? That don't even make sense.
Bitty bitty bing bong.
Man, I know they got
Yeah.
hell of a drugs out there, man. That's what they say. That's what they told kids back then. Their kids stay in school. Say no to drugs, man. Say no to drugs. Whatever PSD, PCP you motherfuckers on, leave it alone, man. Y'all just saying anything at this point. That's what he went to the eight.
There are benefits and problems with astral traveling. You know.
Huh? Astral traveling.
Some
So
people get into their own
you gotta have
mind. Whether
you
they're
gotta have
actually astral traveling is a question, right? Are they just in
you
their
gotta
own
have a
mind?
driver.
Or are they astral?
You gotta have a cosmic driver license to astral travel.
I don't know. Be
That's
helpful.
a good
Maybe.
punchline. I'm about to use that.
It
Yeah,
might be helpful.
you gotta have a cosmic driver license to go to the eighth dimension. You can get a DUI you can just stop by the alien task force, by the Pleiadians. They're gonna stop you and ask for your cosmic driver license, man. When you get pulled over, hey man, where you going? Are you going to the 10th dimension? Are you going to Jupiter? Where you going?
You can make yourself a business there.
I'm gonna start a window cleaning business in the ninth dimension. I ain't gonna use a squeegee. I'm gonna use my mind, man. I'm gonna use my mind. I'm gonna use my
sell licenses to the ninth dimension or something. You know, you're licensed to astral travel to the ninth dimension. You know, give people different levels. You know.
They said the universal law supersedes man laws. They supersede physical laws. So I can astral travel to the 10th dimension, go there, get some information, figure out how to decode the matrix, bring it back to the third dimension. I can start breaking down this, this physical plane, this human loose prison. I can start just
There's
decoding
been
it.
several people in history that claim that that's how they came up with their inventions.
You said what happened?
Then you got the whole Nazi thing with their whole female brigade.
If that's the case,
women.
let's just say somebody did astral travel and they got edified in a higher dimension. And they came back to this dimension. How come nothing has changed then? That's all bullshit then. It wouldn't be
It's up to us
bullshit.
to change things. We have to change things. Things don't
I'm
just
saying
change.
if motherfuckers is astral traveling, going to the Akashic records, doing all this spiritual shit, then how come I still see bums on side of the road? I still see motherfuckers still eating at the garbage.
Well, I
begging for
guess they
change.
haven't made it to the next dimension, you know.
They haven't made it. Who hasn't made it to the next
I
dimension?
guess the bums haven't made it to the next dimension.
Oh, yeah, so we got 5D bums.
We have to edify the bums, you know. So
5D. We got 5D prisoners and 5D corrections
got to get to
officers.
them first. You know.
Bro, man, it's something. Oh my god, man. I used to like subscribe to a lot of that shit, but then I sat back. I was like, bro, a lot of that's bullshit. Like what? I do feel like one thing.
I wouldn't live my life by any information that you get out of astral travel. That's, but you know, maybe you could get some insights into yourself through it. You know?
Right. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if I went to another. I don't know, bro. So you said astral travel, astral projection, astral project. Astral projection has been proven, right?
Well, the psychic mind has been apparently officially proven. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a connection with each other that can be shown.
He said we can tell that TZ is going to take that mark. No, I don't take inoculations. I've never taken. I didn't take a inoculation during the epidemic. I said no because I already knew what it was. I already knew the government was up to no good. You think I don't see this shit, bro? Hey Jay Hyden, bro, I already know what this shit is, bro. I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a long time, bro. You don't have to. It's just common sense. You don't have to be woke or spiritual or conscious. None of that shit to figure this shit out, bro. So no, I'm not taking no mark. I'm not taking no inoculation. I'm not a conformist. I've never voted before. I don't care to vote because I know it's all controlled. Life is rigged, bro. This shit right here rigged. I know that, but I understand there's nothing I can do about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're all getting swept along with the system.
I'm not taking this. I'm taking the mark. The mark. You said the mark of the beast, bro. The mark of the beast is an ID, a birth certificate, bro. Because what do people say? We're under the jurisdiction of this beast system, right? So anybody that has an ID, or a birth certificate, or anything, that's the mark of the beast. That's the beast. That's the beast mark. That's their mark. Say, hey man, we're gonna give you this social security number when you're born, man. That's how it's the mark right there, man. We're gonna give it to you. You don't have to take anything, bro.
Yeah.
The vaccine wasn't the mark of the beast, bro. That's all. That's bullshit. That
It's
shit
all
been
just
around.
fear-mongering.
Huh?
Anybody who believes and gets caught up in that stuff is getting caught up in fear, and that's exactly what they want.
But yeah, that's all that's fear mongering. Come on, you gonna take the mark of the beast? He's a sheep. Nah, bro. I already know what this shit is, bro.
Well,
You
it's
think
for your
y'all think?
health, you know.
You
For health.
listen, bro. Listen, bro. Y'all not listen, bro. Jay Height, everything y'all talk about over here, bro. I've been through all this shit, bro. Plus some. I already know all this shit, bro. I just know there's nothing I can do about it. You want to call this place a matrix, a machine, a reality, a simulation, whatever you want to call it, bro.
No,
It's rigged.
I hear mostly on these bloody channels, Truth Zone, is how proud we are. How fucking proud we are. People are so fucking proud they're not in the same dimension as somebody else.
You said that what? Say what?
They're
I
not
could.
proud, but people are so proud. You got the biggest pride in the world, bro. You got the biggest pride in the world.
You said people are not proud of. Well, I don't give a trying to put down, man. I ain't picking up what you're putting down.
Well, you
How
got
you been
yourself a
though, dude?
different dimension. I think, you're worrying about astral travel and other people going astral travel. Hey, mate, you got a different dimension. You're so proud of what you do, proud of how
Right.
your job is, proud of all your money you're making, proud of your car, proud of this, proud of that. Man,
Nah, I ain't proud.
you're
Nah, I
making
ain't
more
proud.
gas.
That's material shit. That shit don't mean nothing, bro. I ain't proud of that shit, man.
Well, it
No,
sounds like it. Sounds like
no,
it.
no. I'm not. It might come off as that, but I'm not proud of that shit, bro. I mean, I worked for it. I got it, but being proud of it, nah. I don't give a fuck. 'Cause it's
No, you're
material,
proud
bro.
as hell. Whenever I listen, I just think, what am I listening here? What am I hearing here? All I hear is your prideness, bro.
Proud of. I
How much
think you.
pride
I,
you got?
I think you might be misinterpreting what I be saying, bro. I don't think you really catching what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just stand back and listen some more, then see if I'm just my ears are tricking me.
Yeah, I think your mind. I think you get that your age getting to you, man. You might have the low key have dementia.
Oh,
Dementia,
there
man.
we go. Another bloody pride thing with the age thing, eh?
Might
Oh, you're a
you might
young
got
man.
dementia. You're losing your mind.
Man, you've got it, eh? You've got it all, Truth Zone. You've got it all, man.
No, I ain't got it all figured out. That's what these guys do. These guys think they got it all figured out. And they don't. They don't know shit. A man that thinks he knows it all knows nothing. Hold on, bro. A man that thinks he knows it all knows nothing. I don't know it all, bro. I don't have a problem with conveying to you, hey, bro. I don't know it all. I don't know what this place is. I don't know if this place is a machine. I don't know what this shit is, bro. I don't know. You guys' problem is, your problem is it's not even a problem. The thing with you is, if somebody like you, you'll get up here trying to convey to somebody like you know what this shit is. You don't know. You
I
don't
didn't
know.
say that I know it all. You're the one saying you know.
No, no. I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. You misinterpreted what I said. Took what I'm saying.
Well, then you should
As
classify
far as this
yourself
shit,
in that category.
as far as this shit being rigged, I can see that, bro. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that shit out. That's just common sense, bro. I don't need to astral travel or meditate to figure out what the fuck going on here.
I didn't say anything about astral travel. As far as astral travel goes, it's just another bloody psyop to get caught up in, as far as I'm concerned. People, something to believe in.
When you don't have the digital ID, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, man. So I'm saying, you stop fear mongering with this shit, bro. Y'all a bunch of fear mongers. Oh man, this the new world order, man. The digital ID, man. They're gonna kill us all, man. Oh man, yeah, you selling fear porn, bro.
Digital
Like,
ID
bro.
doesn't bother me. As I say, I don't think any of these things are going to affect any one of us if you don't let them.
Right, right. The same thing during the epidemic. Yeah, you had to what's it called? Participate. I didn't participate during the epidemic. I didn't take no vaccine. I said, fuck no, I'm good on that. I didn't even want to wear the mask. I rebelled the whole time. I said, no, I'm good
I
on that.
didn't take no
So
vaccine.
if
I
they
didn't
come out
take
with a
anything
digital
for my
ID,
body.
what you got? That's what I said. If they come out with a
Only
digital
thing I
ID and they
took
say,
was whatever my mother allowed to happen when I was a baby. And as a parent, it's what we do allow our um, children to go through as a baby. You know, I mean, here we go. We had to take our puppy in to get his parvo shot, right? And they got another bloody couple of shots coming out. Lepto's one of them, and things like this. Now, they don't even ask you. They don't even ask you. They just fucking go and put the fucking needles in. You know, you just hand the puppy over, and it's just the same as anybody human handing their baby over. They hand their baby over, and then the needles get jabbed in. You don't know. You don't know anything about what went into you.
right. Now, that's what I'm
Anyway,
saying. To all you people, to all you beings that can astral travel, yes, see, I come back with information that you can go into the Akashic records to see the future. If that's the case, man, go go into the Akashic records and give me the winning Powerball numbers for the lottery. Give me all winning numbers since you know the future. Do it right now.
well, if you go over to Jason the Cake's channel.
Who?
Jason the Cake from a Cakes.
I'm gonna go over there and troll him too. I'm like, hey man, since you are
If you
spiritual,
go in
since
there,
you a
you might
spiritual and
want to
infinite
join up
being,
with some of those people. They got people over there that are setting up, gambling things so you can actually get yourself a hit on
I'm
gambling.
saying to all you to all you extra celestial beings that can skip timelines and dimensions. If you can skip a timeline, skip this timeline, go to next week, get the Powerball numbers, go into the Akashic records, bring it back and give it to me. Then you want to impress troops on, do some shit like that, then I'll believe you. Until then, it's all cap.
What about these people who do magic tricks? Do you think that's not some kind of having seen the past? Isn't that something you're flicking out a future thing that's from the past? You know, like everything we do once it's done, it's in the past. Yeah. Don't look in the rear vision mirror because the bloody windscreen's in the front of the car. Right. If you're driving forward, you don't want to be using the rear vision mirror. But there must be a rear vision mirror, otherwise it wouldn't be a past. And
Shit,
people are
maybe we
going,
need a civil war.
maybe we do. Who knows? I mean, it might be, buddy. New Zealand might be the next big world power that's got all the bloody guns and everything and setting up a war for itself. Right?
Because you got Anquifa, they're fucking retarded. They're gonna be a major player when it comes to I mean, actually, I don't think they're
What?
that bad, but
We got SIFs over here. CYFFS. It's something about child and youth and families, right? And over here, they can take children off parents who are not behaving properly. You know, they're doing drugs, they're doing alcohol abuse, bit of family
well,
violence.
they need to get all the Crips and Bloods, Latin Kings, Nietas, 5%ers to tie flags and create the biggest fucking army anyone's ever seen.
I tell you what, there's more gangs in this country than the bloody government like the idea of. If all the gangs in this country joined up into one big gang and all
That's what
decided they
that's what
were
I want to
the
do.
enemy.
That's what would have happened in the 90s. Because back then the leaders were more the leaders. Nowadays it's the youth that have taken the spot, and they're just more, no disrespect to anyone, but they're just more I don't want to say
Youthful.
ignorant, but
They just got not as much wisdom as the older guys, right?
yeah, they don't want to listen to the elders.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the reason we became bloody black sheep, non-conformists in the first place. We don't listen to these bastards. You know, the only reason that bloody the world lockdown never really took off is because of non-conformists like yourself, like myself, like anybody else who didn't conform. Right?
Mhm.
It's only the
I remember I was
non-conformists.
outside that day, and I'm like, "Yeah, where is everyone? There's really no traffic. I mean, there were people out, but." And then I got a phone call. I was walking down the street, and the woman was like, "You're supposed to be home." And I'm like, "What? Says who?" But yeah, that that type of stuff, man. They got the country so divided.
Yeah, but
You
the
see the
thing is,
protest yesterday? The protest around the
I'm
world.
bloody glad we're divided. We got a big process. Yeah, come up yesterday in Napier, where all the people are striking. Um, for nurses are striking about their wages. School teachers, especially part-time teachers that are taking place for the other ones, so they can have a bloody day off. They're all underpaid. They're all overstressed, overworked, and underpaid. And they're striking for those reasons. But the thing is that if they knew what you and I know, they'd know that's probably going to be a bloody waste of time. It'd be like that big bloody thing they had over in, is it, I know you were talking, just going to start about it.
The No
They
King.
Yeah, where they blocked, where all the bridges, there's like
I'm
4 different
about to pull the
bridges going.
picture up right now. Look, this is just one city right here, and I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah.
Boom! Look at all these people. Now, all these people are blaming the right. If these people were intelligent, they would know. They got
Well,
Democrats speaking. They
a
need
lot
to
of people,
realize
a
it's
lot of those
both
people are
sides.
there because they're paid to be there.
Shit, pay me, man.
Yeah,
Need some money.
$200, $200 a day. People have gotten. My wife got a call to go protest for a couple $100 a day for some lefty organization.
I'll take it, and then I'll go home. Pay me, and I'll be like, all right, I'm going
Oh no,
down here.
you got to meet up with them at one of their centers, and then you got to get
Yeah.
bussed out.
Oh, they pay you afterward.
Yeah.
That's what those little white tents are in the middle of the crowd, probably, where you pick up your bloody chit to get your $200.
Mm-hmm.
But we
But
can't really do much. What are these protests going to do? We don't control the water. We don't control the electricity. We don't control the
well,
flow of food. We don't grow our own food. So what power move do we have to really
Well,
put a boot up their ass? We don't have any.
protesting never does anything to
No.
them. What it
It just
does is it informs the public. So they're using this to inform the public that you don't want any kings and Trump's a king. So because they control both sides, they try to. So
they're
this is
falling right into the trap, man. This is what they want, to divide us up.
Yeah.
We're still not a unit. And just like Trump did, he got all the people on the right riled up. Now the left's trying to do it. They do this every 4 years, the good guy,
Mhm.
bad guy tactic. It's
Yep.
fucking ridiculous. These people don't catch on by now and realize the whole government's the fucking problem. Pharma's the problem. Fluoride in our water's the problem. Microwave technology's a problem.
Life's the fucking problem, Chuck. Life's the fucking problem. The fact that
Yeah.
you're alive makes you the fucking problem, right? The fact that I'm still alive. I mean, fucking hell, they're probably thinking, when's this old cunt gonna fucking fall over and die, right?
I'm gonna go in the woods and be like, oh, look at this, guys. I found this nice little area. It's mine now. It's the first one here. Rah! I'm gonna build me a little fucking house there and claim that piece of property and say it's mine.
Nice.
I founded this shit. Founded 2025.
And I'll look back in history and go, yeah, Charles was. He was a founder. He found a little piece of property out in the woods.
You're the founder.
He's a founder.
Yeah.
If they do something, it's for a good cause, right? Whenever these people do something, the other side's the savage, the enemy, the terrorist, but they're not. They can't do anything wrong. And fucking it's amazing.
That's the impression. It's just like I was saying before with True Saying. You give off impressions. People give off impressions. I mean, must have got my own by now, right? I'm an angry cunt when I get angry, I get fucking angry, right? Everybody must know fucking Dean Lawrence is an angry cunt. There's probably a lot of people that say, fuck, I wouldn't have him on my fucking channel. Fuck, that cunt's lost it, man. But, we're all judged. Every one of us are judges. We're all judging others. We're all being judged. We're programmed to it. Fucking now we're programmed to judge so much. Bloody how rich they are and how poor we are. Fucking how much they've found and how much they're doing and how much I ain't doing or how much I'm doing and how much they ain't doing. Everything's a judgment. We're all judging, running around like bloody judges. I went to a bloody court and listened to the judge judging me. I mean, I laughed at it. I didn't laugh at the judge. Of course, I'm not that bloody silly. But I stood up for myself. I didn't go and get a bloody lawyer. Why pay a lawyer when he's going to fucking get you the same result you can get yourself? You know, the thing with the judges is that if you stand up for yourself, he's gonna come to an agreement with you. If you get a lawyer in to stand up for you, he's gonna give him the business, which is he's gonna then give you the business. But if you go in there, yes, that means you're willing. You're saying that I want to make a bargain with you, right? Because that's what it is. It's making a fucking bargain with them. And if you let the bloody lawyer do it, well, the bloody court systems have already got that sorted. They've already got the bargain made up with those bloody lawyers. But if you go and do it for yourself, they have to make a new bargain. It's a different bargain from the ones they'll make with a lawyer. You can betcha, right? Yeah, no, it's a different system if you stand up for yourself. That's the thing, is that what we're really doing here and talking about here is what we're doing for ourselves, what we can stand up for. And being a non-conformist, it's not conforming to most things. People have to make a bargain with you. They have to make some kind of deal with you because you're not going to stand with the rest of them. You're not going to be the white sheep and go on bleating and agreeing, or bleating and not agreeing. You're going to stand up on your own circle or your square, and that's basically what they're finding out about people. That's what the lockdown was, is to find out how many people were standing for themselves. And every one of these protests, the more numbers they see out there, they can think to themselves, well, those are the people that are standing against the policy. Whatever that policy be, those people are standing against it. And that's what they're gauging. They haven't got it sewn up. If they had it sewn up, they would have fucking gone in there and bloody killed all those people. Like a country who's got bloody an iron curtain that you can't see through. Like Taiwan and Korea and places like that. They still got their iron curtain in place. Russia, China. These people have still got an iron curtain that you can't see through. But the ones that have got they got the fucking, there's no iron curtain. Well, they can't go in there and just wipe them all out because there's too many bloody eyes to see. Too many fucking people. But, like China, they got, you try and film one of those bloody things and see if you can get that bloody footage out of there. They'll have that
China's
camera.
leading the way for that technical point system, man. We don't want that shit here. Shove that shit up your ass. Take it back to China. Keep it
Yeah,
there.
I know
I'll be
that. I mean,
goddamn. My neighbor fucking tries to get points taken from I'll fucking body that piece of shit. It'll be an
yeah.
all-out war. I don't know.
It's a tough
And
place to
all
be.
these
It's a tough
governments are
place to be
scum,
as a
man.
nonconformist, Chuck. It's a tough place to be, man. When you stand up for yourself, you're not standing with a crowd. When you stand up for yourself, bro, you are a one-man band,
I
and
know. It feels like you're alone, right?
it
Because you
does.
are.
It makes you feel like you're bloody alone, mate. You can get angry about it. Some days it can fucking infuriate the fuck out of you because you feel like you
Yeah.
are alone.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Not only is real life kicking me in the fucking head, all this research that I'm doing and everything else tops it off. When you start to see life for what it is, it's like tenfold, man.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, I found out about blue light. What's blue light? You know, blue light. You
I
got
remember
green.
hearing about that a long time ago. Like, remember when flat screens first came out? They would be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't
Right.
sit
I
too
mean,
close to the screen. I used to have one of them old flat screens that were like on wheels. I just actually about 2 years ago,
There was
I
one
got
good.
rid of one.
There was one good
Huh?
thing that Trump did is he allowed the U.S. to have incandescent bulbs again.
thank goodness for that, eh, Max?
What's that, Dino?
I reckon, mate. I mean, the thing is that like Maureen was got some stuff for doing your fingernails through Timu, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
And she got this bloody little, and it's got a little thing in it. It's got these little LED light things
Yeah.
all the way through. There must be about 20 little LED lights
Yeah.
that are all blue. And they're for fucking hardening the fucking enamel surface that they're putting on their nails, right?
Yeah. Those are high UV. So they go on the high ultraviolet spectrum with that. Yeah.
Exactly, Max. Exactly. I mean, I was blown away. She showed me yesterday. I said, why didn't you show me that when you got it? She says, well, you're a bloke, Dean. I don't think you're interested in nails, right?
Right.
So, yeah. And I said, holy shit, love. I didn't even know you had that. Holy crap. I said, have you used it? She said, no. I said, fuck for that. But, like, I did a thing. I was thinking to myself, well, hair loss, I mean, skin buddy rashes, stuff like that. I do get those. Hair
Yeah.
loss is something that I suffer with.
They say red light is good for that if you can get red LEDs. Those are.
Right, well, there you go. So I'm actually just starting to look into it, Max. I really am. It's
what
only beginning, man.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying, Jay Height in Addison, Texas already? The digital ID?
Hmm.
Fuck that
Yeah.
digital ID, man.
I don't think it is. I mean,
No one's
Jason,
getting food stamps next month in the ghetto because the government shut down. I already seen articles saying, don't be surprised when there's no food stamps next month. No Thanksgiving, people are going to be robbing stores.
well, I mean, that might incite a bit of that. I half think it's they tell us these things and then they publish them in the Google. I mean, there's
Yeah, that's
whatever
where I
bloody
seen it. Google.
search engine you got, they've got
Why is
all
it
these.
called Google? Because it keeps you in the child mind state. Google Gaga.
Yeah, Google Gaga, but the thing is, I mean, like when I can't be bothered going out and buying another bloody search engine. I don't want to be paying out what $5 a week to some bloody organisation. $5 a week every fucking week. It's I mean, it's a
That's
lot
a
of money.
good one, Candy.
What is Candy saying?
I had to screenshot it. I'm going to post this shit. That's a good one. Candy said, see?
Candy, what she got there? Eka, something. I can't. Oh, I see. See, they are creating the crisis. And why do you think that food stamps is called SNAP? Because they can turn them off. Okay, the people will snap. Good on you. Yeah, good on you, Candy. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And that's what they're doing. They put these things into the search engines, and the average Joe that goes around waving his bloody arms in the air with his head cut off is the one that incites the bloody the story.
Yeah.
And then you get enough people incited, they all join a group, and they make a bloody group, and they run off and they make a protest about it, or they post it on bloody social media like it's going to be really happening, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what they
I got
do.
to jump
They
off
bait,
here
they bait
in a
you in with a
minute.
few people, just like they're doing at the protests. You know, they'll pay some
Yeah,
people to be there as bait. You know,
yeah,
they'll get you to get
exactly,
out
Protest.
there.
exactly, Max. I mean, like, don't let fear be the one that rules your life. You know,
Yep.
that's all I can say is that just don't let fear be the one that rules your life.
No,
I
it's
had a
crazy.
dream. I had a fucking dream last night, Max. I don't dream very often, right? But this is one I remember. I woke up thinking about it. It was funny. I had to wear my gumboots to get across to this island. And I got across there, and then I looked back and I thought, how the hell did my short little gumboots go through all that water? It was just really crazy. And then there was this horse there. Actually, there were three horses, but one of them, he stood there while I walked up to him, and I gave him a big scrub around the neck and the face and that, and he just followed me everywhere. But we all had to go to the top of this hill, and I knew the horse couldn't get up there because it was quite a steep hill. We had to climb up these bloody different faces. But so anyway, I got up to the top of the hill, ran into three other blokes. One of them had long Rastafarian bloody dreadlocks, and the other guy I was talking to, and he says, "If you want some of that, bro, just go and see him." Right? You know, because I was looking for a joint.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go over
That's
to
what I
him,
need. Some fucking herb.
and he goes to me, "Well, you got to plant the stuff," and then he gives me these plants. It was strange, yes. And this guy comes with me. He says, "Look, I'll show you what you got to do." And he planted this plant. It was like right out in front of these houses, and I was thinking, man, you are stupid. That's not going to stay there long.
That's a
What time
weird.
is it?
It was
I had to
so
jump
funny.
off here in 2 minutes.
It was so funny.
Three
But
three
anyway,
hours 20.
it,
It's a lot
Another
of
ended
3
work.
up.
hours.
It ended up. I had to go running back down the hill, and I was actually running down a really steep face. They had stairs, but my hands were doing all the work. My feet would hardly touch the step,
Oh, okay.
and and then I was on to the next one and on to the next. It was only my arms that were keeping me
Yeah,
from
just
falling
sliding
forward.
down, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap, it was the funniest bloody dream I've had in ages.
Mm.
Anyway, thanks very much. Good to talk to you, Max.
Good talking to you too, Dino.
And good talking to you too, Truthzone. And had a little chinwag with Dom in the chat. But all love to everyone. Chuck, love you, mate. Jay Hyten, I seen him in the chat. Who else was there? It's Candy. Big hugs, Candy. I can't remember anyone else. Somebody else. I think somebody else was there. But anyway,
We had True Zone, Max, Dom.
oh, Dom, of
Damn.
course. Yeah, I haven't seen those.
I think that's it. And you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Wellness
You
to
guys have a,
everyone, you know. That's all I can say is
Huh?
wellness to everyone.
yeah, have a
Have a
great day, everyone. Thanks for
yeah.
having me up, Chuck.
Thanks, Max.
Catch you
If
later,
Max
Chuck.
goes live later, I gotta go over there. And thanks for coming up, Dean and True Zone and Dom.
And peace out, Truth Zone. I was just being a bloody egghead. That's how I am some days. Later, bro. Later, Chuck.
Have a good day, Dean.
You too, bro.
Jay Heighton said people protest. Hold on. There's a few things I'm just gonna say in the chat. People protest for all the wrong reasons and they think they're doing spectacular things. How about nobody goes to the grocery store for 2 days? Nobody goes to work for 2 days.
There
Then what's gonna
you
happen?
go. That's the
Right.
participation part. Nobody does anything. Just don't participate. And I think that was something that Martin Leaker talked about. He said if we all just stopped going to these places, they'd fucking fall on their ass. Right? Yep. Later.
And this was a good one. He said, True Zone, you don't have to turn down people and their ideas. You just listen quietly. Just like when you speak, I listen. I think your knowledge, and then I investigate. Which is true. That's why when people talk, I might not agree, whatever agree is, but I just listen. Everyone has
Okay.
their own viewpoints.
We do.
And whether you like it or not, people are still going to view it that way.
Yeah, that's a fact. Anyway, we'll catch you later.
All right, Dean. Have a great day.
You too, bro.
And peace to everyone in the chat. Maybe that's what we should start pre-planning behind the scene worldwide. You know, just one day stop participating in a major way. And people will fucking fall right into the trap. With the generation, when I'm old, I'm doomed, man. I don't want to get old. With this generation coming up, oh my god. We're fucked. Us old people, we're fucked. Oh my god. But anyway, peace out, everyone. I hope you have a great day. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. If not, I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. And peace out. Have a great day, like I said. I appreciate you all. This is a good stream.